Hello, everybody. We're on the air. Welcome, everybody, to a random Kick Nasser and potentially Pals stream. I sent out the link to probably like 5 or 6 people, maybe, but they all were busy at work or going to sleep or something. So we probably won't have any pals come on, so we'll probably just be going for like 20 or 30 minutes or something. That's about as long as I like to go when it's just me, because I get pretty awkward on these things without a guest. Well, I'm still awkward with a guest, but at least it's more tolerable for you guys when I have people on here. But for now, it's probably just going to be me. Unless one of my guests decides to come by. But I invited like 6 people, and a few of them already told me they couldn't come by. So yeah, it might just end up being me. But we already got a few people in here. So guys, please hit that thumbs up if you haven't already, and please share out the link. And let's get some more people in here if we can. But I see we got Fly Fox Pro in the chat. Hello, Fly Fox Pro. We also have Cabbage Head, who just started his channel. So everybody go sub to Cabbage Head. But it's nice to see you here, Fly Fox Pro and Cabbage Head. And we got Dennis Peruch in the chat. Hello, Dennis. Nice to see you here, one of our regulars. Nice to see you all here. Nice to see you guys. I hope everybody's doing well today. I hope you guys are all doing well. We've been getting a lot of writing done today. We wrote 5,000 words this morning. Yesterday we wrote 5,000 words as well. So 10,000 words in 2 days. I've been getting a lot done. So yeah, so the book I'm writing right now called The Doll Maker is going pretty well. Books are going well. Just need money to put them out, of course, which is always the case. But speaking of books, I do want to plug my books, but also my friends' books. So I posted the link already in the chat, and it's in the description. But I did want to take a look at Black Hops here, and just give me a second here to share my screen, and then we will. Oh, Doug Tenaple's here. Oh, what's up, Doug?
Yeah, I'm here.
Doug, how's it going?
It
That's
is
how
so
it's
good. I'm
um
relaxing, dude. I'm having a good time. I'm on vacation.
Oh man, Doug, I wrote 5,000 words yesterday and
I saw
5,000
that.
today.
Saw that.
That's
I'm very proud of you, man. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
That is how you do
10,000
it.
in 2 days.
You've
Almost doubled,
written,
almost doubled my word count.
yeah, yeah. You keep writing. You're gonna do great. You're killing it.
Yeah.
Is Moby Dick at all inspiring? I don't know if you want to tell your audience, but we've been talking about
Oh
Moby Dick
yeah,
together while you're reading it. But is that
yeah,
inspiring at all as a writer?
yeah. Well, there's one creepy scene, at least early on so far. I think I've read the first 6 chapters, and I think in chapter 4 or 5, uh, he Ishmael has a flashback to when he was younger and then was going to sleep, and in the middle of the night thought he was grabbing somebody's hand, and he didn't know
Yeah,
whose it was,
yeah.
and that
And he
that that.
wakes, is that when he wakes up and Queequeg's in bed with him or something like?
Yes.
It's my the introduction of Queequeg is one of my favorite. Man, is that a booger? What is it? Oh, it's just the light catching the rim of my bent up nose. The introduction of Queequeg is one of the greatest moments ever. It's spooky and it's awesome.
It's
It's
funny
very
because
loving. It's very manly and loving. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's very brotherly, and
Very brotherly.
it's funny because he's talking all this smack before he ever sees the guy, and he's like, to the guy, his name's Coffin, the dude that owns the
Yeah.
inn or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh, who cares about that guy that already has the room, and he's like, bro, if he were here right now and heard you saying this, he'd beat you up.
Yeah, he beat you up. And then also, I like, this was written in 1850. So just think of where racism was at in America. And he
Yeah.
writes about this. There is a sensitivity and a humanity to Queequeg that you won't see in literature of its time.
Yeah, and that's what happened in also in chapter 6, which I know I told you not much happened besides he took a
Yeah,
walk, but in that chapter he takes a walk, and he sees a bunch of foreign people and talks about the connection they all have of going out to sea. So
yeah,
it definitely written 1850, and he talks
He's
about,
thinking way
yeah,
outside of his time. And I'm saying that's why I tell artists today, don't look at what TV tells you to believe or what your college professor or whatever tells you to believe. Try to tap into something that was true 150 years ago and will be true 150 years from now, like an actual truth. Let that
yeah,
be your guide, and you'll probably lose all your friends, and maybe no one will notice or like your work. But that's what doing what's right means.
totally. And I just like how it's written, how it doesn't, in some ways it reads like, yeah, 1850, but in most ways you're like, it's not like difficult to understand.
Yeah,
It's not like
it's
these
written like
weird
1850
sentences.
in that it's literate.
Yes, it's literate. I guess that's a great way to put
Guy's
it.
read
It's
books
not like,
and knows how to write.
because a lot of people, they're like, oh, but it's so old, it's gonna be difficult to understand it. It's really not. It's written,
Yeah.
it's really well written.
So speaking of Moby Dick, this is on since today is this is kind of Comic-Con week. I love Jeff Smith, his art and his story Bone, and in that story, Bone always references Moby Dick. Did you know that?
Um, I have that book in my house. I haven't read it. My little
Just
sister loves it.
just give a glance through the first couple of chapters, and you'll see Bone is always talking. He's carrying around a copy of Moby Dick under his arm.
Hmm.
So this is the weird part of the story, which I think is wonderful on world building. Here, these Bone cartoon characters, right? They come from a world where there's technology and T-shirts and computers and airplanes and stuff like that, and Moby Dick. And they end up in this world that's kind of primitive but human with Thorn and Grandma and Grandpa and the rat creatures. It's kind of more Lord of the Rings. So it's just weird that they never show the Bone world. They're always in what looks more almost like our version of a Middle Earth or something. But then here's Bone walking around with a copy of Moby Dick, and that's from our world, yours and my
Yeah.
world, that they don't even address the human world. So how did that get there? A copy of Moby
And
Dick. It's
one
pretty
one
cool. I just think it's pretty cool.
one thing I've liked so far about the book is some of the foreshadowing. Now, I don't know everything that happens in this book, but I know the general idea of they're going to be
Yeah,
after a whale at some point,
yeah,
and I'm assuming
yeah.
things must go horribly wrong. And there's,
No, no, you'll see. It's everything that the way that he does it, even though you can know a ton about Moby Dick, the way that he tells the story, it is not like anything you imagined, including the
hmm,
pace. It's just like weird how tiny and small certain things that got famous are, and so how huge and blown out things that you've never heard of about Moby Dick are.
hmm.
So, but it is the big theme really is, well, Ishmael's looking for meaning, obviously, right? He's a
Well, yeah,
wanderer.
yeah,
He
he's looking
wants to
for his
die, and
meaning.
he's basically a wanderer, and he has a lot of wonderings about God. And he'll get on that ship,
Yeah.
and
Well,
he'll
well,
meet a man who basically, I mean, Moby Dick is God, and Ahab wants to
yeah.
kill him.
Well, the one thing I was about to say right before that was also the foreshadowing of it, of going after the whale when he sees the painting there in that, I forget the name of like the little inn place he's staying at, but when he sees
Yeah,
that painting on the wall,
yeah,
that was nice foreshadowing when it's like a
yeah,
whale attacking his ship. But I also
yeah.
really like the how the bar is shaped like a whale's mouth, and so they call the bartender Jonah. I thought that
Yeah,
was that was pretty
it's
funny.
wonderful. It's everything about that book is you will not, Nasser, I swear, by the time you're done with it, you will not find a better. I would challenge you to find a better book.
Yeah, I was watching a Clive Barker interview recently. Well, that was probably like 5 months ago, actually. But he was saying that his favorite novel is Moby Dick, and I was like, interesting. And then you were like, yeah, I really love the novel Moby
It's
Dick,
my favorite all time.
and I was like, so many good creative people really love that book. Maybe I should finally read it.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I was when I was on vacation recently, a few days ago, a couple weeks ago, and I was in Maryland, and I was at a Books a Million, and I was
Yeah.
passing through the public domain section, and they just had tons of different books, and I saw Moby Dick, and I was like, "Ooh, nice hardcover! I'm gonna get this one," because I had a paperback in my cart on Amazon, but
Yeah.
this one was cheaper and it was hardcover, and I was like, "Sweet, I'll get it."
Yeah, I haven't read. I didn't read that book till probably 2012. I think I read it. Might be 2013. So that was 7 years ago. So I was like 45 years old before I finally, I'm going to read this book. And first three chapters, these are little 3-page chapters.
So
I couldn't believe what I was reading.
So why did you first decide to read it then?
I have all the 54, the great books of the Western world. It's
Yeah.
like Pascal and Shakespeare and whatever, Dante. And that was one of the books. And I always knew I wanted to read it just for literary reasons. And I think it might have been Mike Nelson that said you got to read it or something. And I said, oh, I looked at I read the biography in the front. I looked through the chapters and just saw how short they were. So I treated it like a daily devotional, where every day I would read just one 3-page chapter right before I went to bed.
Yeah.
And it sucked me in. I mean, it just had me. It's also one of the most creative books I've ever read. Melville almost went mad writing it. He was so just brutally perfect in his cadence and his writing and his vocabulary and his style. It is so flowery and romantic too. Very romantically. It's thick. So if you see me go off in Bigfoot Bill with super flowery language, which I do sometimes, I'll go like, he thought in one direction, and then why not? He thought another direction. There's no reason to say it that way, but it's Moby Dick that gives me the permission to say things so voluptuous and well styled. So that's what I hope it does for your writing, is just really take that ceiling up above you a little farther and just say, oh, my sandbox is much bigger than just Stephen King or whatever thing that we're reading today.
Yeah.
It will open your mind up to truly
which is
poetic.
mostly Lovecraft for me.
Yeah, exactly. And Lovecraft, I think, is just a really wooden, really bad version of what Melville did. I think Lovecraft, he is wonderful and romantic. He's just terrible compared to good ones. He's not a good writer. I do think he's a good storyteller. I think he crafts that horror thing that he's trying to do.
Definitely.
I just don't think his writing ever got up to pace.
Yeah.
He was kind of a little too.
He liked to write one thing and one thing only, so that's just how he wrote it. He never really.
But he wrote it in one way, is what I'm saying. It's like the vocabulary and the language and the cadence. Whereas I think more experienced guys, or guys like Burroughs and H.G. Wells, have a little, and Rudyard Kipling, especially Rudyard Kipling, have a little more poetic to their cadence, and Lovecraft is just kind of, I'm trying really hard.
Yeah,
he's basically fan fiction.
Lovecraft stuff. He only wrote it that one certain voice he had, that one certain style. That's it takes a lot of getting used to read it. But I like the ideas behind his stories a lot.
And I think as a bad writer, you get an excuse if you write it in first person, because who am I to judge the narrator when he's basically writing me almost in a journal? It's like, well, maybe the guy's just a bad writer. I always think that. I go, I should just write something in first person. That's the Hunger Games too.
I could only do that for short stories. I've never been able to write a whole novel like that. I've written short stories in first person, but a whole novel, I just couldn't do that.
If you're a terrible writer, though, am I right? You can write in first person, and it's okay, because maybe the person who's writing the book is a terrible writer. So you shouldn't, if you're afraid of writing something, write it in first person, and you'll be okay. I mean, Twilight's first person, Hunger Games, all those kind of biography. The Road is first person. So it's like, lay in there and do. I always thought that if I was going to do a novel, I'd do it in first person.
Well, I think you did write one novel though, and I don't think it was first person though. I think it was third person, wasn't it?
Sterling.
I forget the name of it.
Or Johnny Amish. I think it's Johnny Amish that you're thinking of.
Well, I don't know how much I'm about to say, but you did email me one time a novel you wrote, but I don't think you published it, and it was sort of like a fairy tale almost, if I
Oh, that
remember
was the
correctly.
unicorn. That was Sterling. Yeah, that was written in. I believe it was written in first person.
I don't
You
know
know what?
if it
It's
was or
not.
not.
It's not. You're right. It's
No,
third
yeah,
person.
but
My other book, Johnny Amish, which is a post-apocalyptic Amish book, that was third. That was first person.
yeah. And one thing that really interested me about Moby Dick when we were talking about it on your channel, I don't know, probably earlier this month, was when we were talking about how it never sold out of its first printing.
Yep.
That really
In his
interest.
lifetime. Yeah, in his
Well,
lifetime.
yeah,
He
in his
died.
lifetime, I mean.
He died thinking it was largely just a, you know, uh, something to try, and he went mad. He was staying up all night and shouting at the pages as he wrote. You could imagine him writing that thing longhand, right? He's writing it longhand, and
Right.
just really, you can tell he cared about every sentence. And it was Hawthorne was the guy that Melville thought was the greatest writer ever, and he sent the copy to Hawthorne, and he had so much respect for him that Hawthorne said, "This may be the greatest book ever written." And Melville wrote him back something like, "Thank you, that's all I ever need to know. Like, I won't send it out to any more critics. I don't care what anyone else thinks of it." Like that, he got that from Hawthorne. He felt so he never cared how much it sold.
Oh man, that's gonna be like when you finally read one of my books.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what you want to be like him and lean into that page and let your emotions flow out
Oh, of course.
and take risks and do those layerings like the Jonah theme and stuff throughout the whole book. It's brilliantly done and seamless. You can't see what he's doing. Very philosophical
Yeah,
too, and all the
yeah,
philosophy he speaks of, it's all true. Everything he says is true
yeah. And
about
so far,
women, men, about the clam. You ever see his little thing about he does the philosophy of the clam?
I don't think I'm at that part yet.
Okay, you'll see he makes us an analogy where he's looking down at a clam and wondering what the clam thinks of him. And the clam, of course, has no thought to really consider him, but as it's looking up through the water, and he said, "That's like us considering God." It just blew my mind.
Oh man.
Man, you're just a nuclear bomb, Melville. You're just the best.
Yeah, and it has seemed like a pretty Christian book so far, and
Yeah.
I'm not at the sermon part yet. I think that's the next chapter, the one
Mhm.
after.
Mhm.
Because I
The
saw it on
sermon's
the
great. It's a great
yeah.
sermon on Job. Is that right? Is it on Job?
I don't know yet because I saw the title of the next one. I think it was called like the pulpit or something, and so
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that's
this is the most famous sermon ever written, and I believe it's about Job. But what it has to say, like, no one knows of Melville as being a great preacher, I don't think he was even a Christian. I think he was not a believer. I'm not.
oh well
He
that's
was in and out, is what I'm saying. But he had the language that would come in. But everyone agrees, like, that's one of the greatest sermons ever written.
well that's a surprise to me because the book seemed very Christian so far. Like it had a very
Yeah,
Christian message.
that also
Which
shows how secular we have become just by default.
yeah,
Our default thinking is so anti-Christian. It's not neutral, it's anti-Christian, because the common language of Melville's time was incredibly Christian, even for a non-believer.
yeah. Which if that sermon coming up is on Job, then I'm very excited for that because that might be my favorite Bible story.
Huh? I'm telling you, it's a feast. You're going to have a feast.
Yeah. And I want to say hello to a few people in the chat. So we got Timothy Best here says, "Hey, it's Nas and Doug." Well, hello, Timothy Best. Nice to see you here, one of our regulars.
Yeah, Timothy. Hey, don't forget to like the episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to throw the link around and tell them, holy cow, Doug TenNapel and Nasser are talking about Moby Dick.
Right, of
And
course.
everyone will want to come in. Everyone will get them some views.
And don't forget to back Black Ops 3. I'm putting the link in the chat now. It's in the description. Go back Tim and Mark. They're great guys. They put out great books. And let's see. Samueli Ulke's here. He says, hello, hello. Nice to see you, Samueli, another regular. Um, and then John Diller's roasting me, saying, wait, Nasser never read Moby Dick. No, not till now, but it's fine because
He read it about 20 years before I did.
yeah, I was about
So
to say that.
who's the dummy here?
Right. Oh man. We got Dave Asanowicz in the chat. He puts a whale emoji.
Oh yeah, appropriate.
Cool. We got Not Went in the chat, says hola. Well, hello, dude. Um, John Della Rose in the chat says to have him on so Doug can freeze and panic. Man, that's not what we're doing here. We're just on here to talk about books and stuff, man.
JDA, you're psycho. You're psycho.
No, I like the both of you, but I mean the point of this stream was not so anyone could take shots at anyone else. I was just bored and decided to do a stream, and we decided to talk about books, man.
Yeah. Yeah, this is about don't bother JDA. This is about adult stuff. This is grown up books.
Oh man, we have Dee Dee Willingham, who's a fantastic artist, and she says always enjoy listening to you guys. Well,
yay, Dee Dee! Look how pretty she is.
Dee Dee's got a fantastic channel. She streams a couple times a week, and
she's an artist.
She does a lot of coloring and crafts and all sorts of different stuff. So everybody go check out Dee Dee.
Wonderful. Dee Dee Willingham.
And let's see, Cabbage Head, who's a fantastic artist. Everyone goes up to him. He started doing streams in the last week, I think.
So this is so good.
Yeah,
this is going to kill me.
He says, we were supposed to read Moby Dick in high school, but I think the teacher replaced it with Hunger Games in the curriculum. I should probably read it.
Yeah. Thank you, teacher.
Oh, man. That reminds me of that meme that I sent you that was it's got George Orwell's 1984, and it's like old dystopian novels that sorry, I'm being distracted by the chat. I gotta close it when it says this is old dystopian novels, and it's like, this is a warning for the future. Do not let this happen. And then it has like the Divergent books, and it's like modern dystopian novels that a girl with superpowers has to choose between two boys. Yeah, that's exactly what Cabbage Head reminds me of. Oh man, guys, I don't want arguing in this chat. But yeah, Mike says that John's disrespecting my guest. That's true.
No, that's not true. He's allowed. He's allowed to crack jokes.
No, I really like all of you guys, but I just didn't want the point of this stream to have fighting in the chat. So now it's getting sort of awkward.
Yeah, don't let. You know what? You know why they're fighting? Because this is the internet. Stop fighting in the chat, internet.
Yeah, but anyways, back to books, I suppose. Doug, what else have you been reading lately?
What do I have here? I just finished that audiobook of Into the Storm.
Oh yeah, I have that in my Amazon list. I haven't bought it yet.
Wow, that was a fun ride. Great fiction. Great stuff. World War II. The line of books is called The Destroyer Man, and it's a destroyer gets taken to another world from World War II into another world. Really fun. I can't wait to get the next book. It's a 12-book series.
Yeah, right now, I'm reading Moby Dick, and I've been reading also some 70s and 80s horror paperbacks that just came back into print. Cool. That have been out of print for like 30, 40 years or so. And I just read one called When Darkness Loves Us, and it's a really chilling tale. It's actually got two tales in it, actually, but the title tale, When Darkness Loves Us, one of the creepiest things I've ever read.
Yeah.
And right now, I finished that book, I don't know, like a week ago. Now I'm reading another book called Let's Go Play at the Atoms, which is basically like Stephen King's Misery, but with a bunch of little kids instead of Annie Wilkes.
Ooh, that's a good idea. So they're kind of lost kids, like Children of the Corn,
well, sort of. It's like they, like
Lord of the Flies.
Almost, it's more like Lord of the Flies, but it's like they they've got like their babysitter tied up and stuff. So it's like almost like Misery, but a little bit different though. But it's still like that same thing of like the one character in a room that just wants to get out, but they're tied up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the
So
idea of, well, that's what's great about that book would be like children are weak. And so it's frustrating to be taken control of by someone who's weak.
oh,
You know what I
totally.
mean? And that's
And
the
because
same thing with the nurse in Misery. Because he had a broken leg, she was able to dominate him using ether and tying him
right.
up.
Right, and that must have been embarrassing because you're there and in the bed, your legs are broken, you're tied up, and then it's this fat like nurse lady
Yeah,
that's
and he
like
wants
crazy.
to kill her. And
And
she's
it's like
like,
he
she breaks his
could.
leg, the
It's like
hobbling.
it's like he could, like if you're at full strength and she's coming at you, like he could easily just she's just like some pudgy lady. But
Yeah,
that's like what adds to it is it's like he can't move. He's got to just rely on his mind. And
yeah.
the book is a lot more intense than the movie. The movie really like makes her look like a nice old lady.
Yeah,
uh,
I watched the movie. I never read the book. My friend read the book and said it was so much more intense. And I said I can't handle any more than the movie. But it's a great
Oh
story.
my goodness, dude! It is so intense. Like I got
Yeah,
scared.
yeah,
Like I was like, I'm glad I'm not in this room with this lady. It
yeah,
goes a little more into detail on like her backstory. When like in the movie, when he finds the newspaper clippings, and
yeah.
in
But
the
she had
movie,
killed a bunch of
yeah.
deaths had been around her,
Yeah, and I
baby
mean, there's
deaths.
there's only so much they could do with that scene in the movie. Like, you can't stop and read every article. So, in the book, though, he reads a little of the articles, and so you get an idea for all the things she's done. Like, she has no regard for human life, just like adults, children, anything. Like, she has hurt a lot of people, and
Yeah,
like the whole angle in the movie, though, where she's like in love with him, it's not like that in the book. She's just complete psycho. So,
like just wants to hate on
yeah,
him and just
yeah.
make him miserable.
Yeah, 'cause
But does she torture him,
even
or
worse.
or is he flipping her as a writer, as a fan in the book, where like I'm your number one fan thing?
No, it's like even worse because like when you say like does she hurt him in the book, like she does it even worse, like the hobbling scene. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness, that's awful. But in the book, she cuts off his foot and then
yeah,
cuts off one of his thumbs.
yeah,
Oh man, so it's even more painful to think about. And then
yeah,
she like puts some fire on his wound and so it'll stop bleeding. And it's just like just real intense. But
yeah,
she's even crazier. Like there's one point I could see you cringing, but she
yeah.
finds a mouse on a trap and she just grabs it in her hand and squishes it and
Oh,
puts it out of its misery because it's like dying in its trap. And she's like here, and she just squeezes it and like it gets real nasty. Like there's times where she gives him like soap water to drink, and it
to
gets
give him the
real
run,
nasty. Or yeah, or
give
like
him the runs.
yeah, or like oh man, there's times where at the start of it how he's like sort of um like in a coma or something because he doesn't know where
Yeah,
he is. And so there's like scenes where he's like describing like she's trying to give him like mouth to mouth or something, help him out, and he's describing how awful her breath is, and I can like smell it. So I was like, oh no.
gross.
Yeah, so Misery is very intense, and the book I'm reading right now is basically Misery, but with a bunch of little kids tying up their babysitter, and they're like, "It's just a game." That's like the creepy thing too. Is like the kids don't see anything wrong with it. Doug, I could just see how you're cringing. You're like, "Why are you reading this?"
Yeah, I don't read that. I don't have no interest. I already know human beings are cruel. I'm not going to go to fantasy to find out how much more cruel they are than I can imagine.
Oh
Torture,
man,
torture really bothers me too because I know it's possible and I know people do it all the time. So I just think it's cruel.
man. Dennis Peruch says, "Ha, I've read Hunger Games, but never Moby Dick." Oh man, uh,
Well,
yeah,
you're in for a treat. You crack
I've,
that
I've
book
I've never
open.
read the Hunger Games, but I guess it's looking like quite a few people in here
I
have.
had the first one read to me while I was inking a comic. My daughter was so into it, she said she would read it to me. So she read the entire first book to me
Hmm.
while I inked pages across a couple weeks. It was wonderful.
Uh, Not when says, speaking of Orwell, have you seen Equilibrium? It's like 1984 mixed with one of the expletive Matrix movies. No, I haven't seen Equilibrium. I don't
That
think I've
sounds
even heard of
familiar.
it.
Equilibrium. Let me see if I've seen that one or not. Well, a great Orwellian is Brazil by
Uh,
the movie Brazil by the Monty
um,
Python director.
no, I don't think I've seen
Oh,
that. But
Master, you'd love Brazil.
hold on, I gotta take care of something in the chat. John, I love you, but I can't have you as a moderator if you're gonna keep timing out Mike just because he's replying to you.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, bump. You can't. Yeah, take his wrench away for that.
yeah, I'm sorry,
Sorry,
John.
John. Your special needs. Sorry, special needs, John.
I just don't.
I love you and everything, but you can't have a wrench. Those are for adults.
I'm sorry. Doug's taken away my wrench too. So is Mike. So
Oh yeah, I've taken Nasser. I've blocked Nasser on Twitter for like half a year.
yeah, but I'm sorry.
It's just part of the online community, John. Nothing. Don't go and capture Nasser and tie him up to a bed and break his legs.
I'm sorry.
There's no need for that. It's just a wrench on YouTube.
I just don't want to be in the middle of these arguments, and I don't like the language going on in the chat being on my channel. So
I just
I'm
think it's
sorry, guys.
funny to watch
It's
to
awkward
watch
for
drama over the most unimportant stuff on the planet, which is everything in crowdfunding comics and comics.
me. Yeah.
And watch them try and ramp it up to like, China busing Uyghurs, and like putting them in concentration camp level seriousness, like comics.
Yeah. Sorry. It's getting
Kathleen Kennedy.
no, sorry, Doug. I know this is turning awkward. I'm just getting.
I'm not. It's not awkward because I can't read the chat, so I don't see any of it. So if you don't put it on screen, put the good stuff on screen though, so I don't miss out on any of the good.
Well, there's nothing good now in the chat, but we have.
Now there's nothing good left.
No, I mean, no. It's just like stuff like this. I don't want around the.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Okay, that's a good one.
But we've got about 13 people here, so guys, please hit the thumbs up and share out the link to the stream. You can even let people
Tell
know
them John Delarose just told off Doug in the chat on the Nasser show. Put that on Twitter.
Right.
We just want views. We just want some views.
Right. We just want views, and since we're probably gonna get views, let me copy the links to my books on Amazon, and I'm gonna put the link here in the chat. So if you want to buy my books, that's the link right there. Mike says, "Am I still blocked?" No, Mike's back.
Mike's back.
So he's not timed out anymore. But there's the link for Black Hops and the link for my books on Amazon. If anybody wants to get some books to read, then there you go.
Yeah, fans of yours should just buy a book on principle. Just buy one on principle.
Right, and plus
it's a tip jar. Think of it as a tip jar. There are a couple bucks. It's a tip jar.
And plus,
and write a review. Give them a positive review. Say this. You guys should all buy this.
I actually got a really positive one. Today I'm gonna let me see. Let me go to my profile. Let me share my screen really quick, and we'll go look at this because somebody gave me. Let's see. Why isn't it letting me share my screen? Share screen. Do I have to re-give it access or something? Why is it saying? It's saying blocked temporarily from sharing my screen. I don't understand this.
Oh. I wonder if the cussing in the chat might have put some kind of a strike on your channel or something.
I don't know. Let me no, it says your browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon in your address bar to allow. Let me see.
Are you using Chrome?
No, Firefox.
Well, there's your problem right there. Nothing works in Firefox.
Oh, hon, I think I fixed it. Yeah, okay, now I fixed it. That was awkward, but okay, so now you guys can see my screen. So I'm gonna go over here, and this was a really nice review somebody gave me for my book Eternity, from CF Trainwrecked. Says at Nasser Rabadi 13 started reading Eternity, and I am really enjoying it. Blasted through the first 100 pages, and the story reminds me of one of my favorite authors, John Saul. Hope to finish the book tomorrow. I thought that was really sweet.
That's very nice.
Yes, that's actually one of the best compliments I've ever gotten. So if you guys
So
want
you
to,
guys, if you guys read his work, he needs feedback, positive and negative. Tell
yes,
him, you know, three
mostly
negatives, three
negative.
positives, so he knows, so he doesn't stop doing what he should be doing, and then he stops doing what he shouldn't be doing. It's
Actually,
very helpful.
more like five negatives and one positive.
Yeah, five negatives and positive. Well,
Might actually be
positives,
better.
you can get a false positive in a review. You can never get a false negative, usually.
Yeah, I live for negative reviews just so I know
Yeah,
what to fix.
yeah. Get specific, get helpful, something he can write on a 3x5 card and remind himself of. We're curating talent. So everyone who gives feedback on my books, they're helping me become a better writer and artist. I don't always follow what they say. I often disagree with them and say, nope, not going to do that. But the feedback for someone like Nasser, a young writer, is very good. And you help create this next big famous writer. They need your help. So help them
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
It's like
like
an active, you want an active readership in crowdfunding anyways. You want it to be a little back and forth.
yeah, like Ellis Goodson. I need to get him on here so we could talk about books and movies and stuff. But
Yeah. Ellis
he
is the
read
best writer in the world, and he's wasting his time on screenplays and comic books.
right,
Guy should be
but
writing books, farting them
he
out.
he
He's
read
better than Stephen King, and he won't write.
he read my my screenplay and he tore it to shreds. But he started with some of my favorite advice, and I taped it to my wall. He said, "If you can read it, you can fix it." And he started
Yep.
with that, and he's like, "If you could read it, you could fix it." And your screenplay is 89 pages of things that need to be fixed. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like
Yeah.
he didn't say those
Oh,
exact
that is
words,
good.
but he said it like along those lines.
That's
Uh,
good.
yeah. So
Yeah, when I sent him, I wanted him Sterling to read, and I asked him to, take a pass at it. And his first comment when he sent it back to me, he goes, "Well, it's written."
yeah, that's what he told me. And
Well, it's
man,
written.
he's just great to talk story with. And
Yeah.
any book or movie I tell him like I'm reading this, and he's like, yeah, I've seen that. I saw that 40 years ago.
Yeah. No one's read wider than Ellis. No one has seen more movies than Ellis. So culturally, he's better developed than almost anyone I know. But he sounds like a redneck, tool salesman.
yeah,
So he sounds like an idiot, but he really is one of the smartest guys I've ever known. He's really good. So,
yeah, yeah. Every time I go to Oklahoma, I want to stop by his house, but I usually don't have my car with me.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, and
You should
he's like an
stop by
hour
Oklahoma,
away.
go to his house, and do a podcast from there. Do a video chat of the life of
Yeah.
Ellis. Hey, I'm on your front porch, and I'm
No,
I'm live streaming right now.
no, he's like an hour away from my sister's house, and uh, so usually I don't have my car with me in Oklahoma, so I'm not able to, like ask my family like, hey, can you take me to this stranger off the internet's house?
Yeah.
But no, I really do want to meet him one of these days when I go down there. And let's see what else is
Oh,
going
here's
on in
Mike
the
Miller
chat.
says, "Hey Nasser, tell Nasser to check his Twitter DMs."
Oh, I did that was around when he was getting timed out, and I didn't see it for a
Oh,
minute.
okay. Okay.
But yeah, sorry about that, Mike. Apologies. But let's see. Prod Mull says, "Hi Nasser, I'm off work for the week, and what a good way to kick it off. Awesome. Thank you for stopping by, man." And we've got the Firefly Family Podcast in the chat. They have their watch party streams every Friday, so go check them out.
Cool. Cool.
Says, oh, it's the Doug
Oh,
Show on Nasser's channel.
oh.
Awesome. Thank you for stopping by, dude. And then we got, yeah, Mike saying, I give Nasser all the negative reinforcement he needs.
There you go.
Yes, that is true. Mike's never had a good thing to say about my
Nasser will
books.
never have a problem with pride.
Right. um, Fly Fox Pro says, I bought a Nasser book, haven't read it yet, though. Well, thank you for buying it, man. Um, we've got, I know I'm going to butcher this name. Uh, I'm sorry.
Oh, good luck.
I don't even know where to begin.
Sirajudeen. Sirajudeen.
Sirajuddin Shamsuddin. Sorry,
Shamsuddin.
sorry if we butchered it. Says hi from UK. Well, hello, dude.
Hi, buddy.
Then we got Mr. Thundaro in the chat. One of our subs going back like 2 years now. I think at least close to 2 years. Says looks like I jumped into an interesting stream. That you did. And let's see. Cabbage Head says, I've got a couple hours before I'm done for the week. Y'all are making the grind that much more tolerable. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, Cabbage Head's got I don't know if you've seen his art if you follow him on Twitter, but he's juggling like 5 different projects and all the art he's showing from them is great. And I'm like, which one are you gonna do first? And he's like, well, I don't know. I have like 5 more ideas I want to start. But
Yeah,
I'm really excited for when
I've seen his art.
whenever
Looks
he
good.
launches a book.
Just do it. Just do it. What are you waiting for? It's not going to get any better, 2 years from now. So just do it.
Yeah, Mike says, Nasser, I'll say this once. Your writing was getting better, which is why Nasser Peace Theater wouldn't be as fun. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Mike. That
You give
that
a guy's writing 3,000 to 5,000 words a day.
yeah.
He's gonna have explosive growth so long as you keep changing, so long as you keep growing, and you don't just get stuck in a rut. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and the thing about Nasser Peace Theater is like I tried to like monetize it because everyone's like, "Oh, I love this show," and I was like, "Yeah, well, if you love it, buy my book, and then you could, do your own
Yeah,
version of the show." And nobody fell for it.
yeah. That was the thing. Is it wasn't. I think ribbing is great so long as the person being ribbed is having fun also, and so long as the person being ribbed is making money. So I'm
Yeah, I
going,
mean,
if you're making money, it's like, yeah, do masterpiece theater all day. But when it turns to be truly insulting and mean spirited, then it's just cruel.
yeah,
Now
I mean, like,
it's making fun of a fellow creator on their back.
as
And
far as like the first couple were actually pretty cool because I had sent them like serious things that I thought were good, and then they actually gave me a bunch of feedback like on the first couple before it was
yeah,
called Nasser Peace Theater. They were just goofing on the stream, and I sent them stuff to read, and some of the things they said were good feedback, and then later when I would send more things, they were like, send us bad stuff. So
yeah.
I would send like like very early drafts, like first thing I ever wrote, and then oh man, what is that noise?
It's my family's back from grocery shopping. I gotta jump.
Oh,
I
all
gotta
right,
go.
all right, Doug. Well, peace.
Hey, thanks for having me on, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man. See ya.
See you, everybody.
No, but I guess I'll finish the story about that. Was like I was first I sent serious things and the feedback was good, but everyone wanted really bad things. So I started to send like the really bad stuff, and then there was like one time I sent in uh, uh, the first chapter of Death for a Dollar, and I was like, this is really good. And then I could tell there wasn't much to roast in that chapter, and so when I would send the good things, I wouldn't have a good time with it. They would only have a good time with like really bad things. Uh, but it did it it was pretty fun. It would have been better to get sales from it. Mike says and read story by Robert McKee. Um, that's the part I'm going to choose to ignore. I don't know. The best way to learn story is just to read and write. I don't really like books about writing usually. Like I like Stephen King's On Writing. Um, because he just says what he does. It's not like one of those like pretentious books that are like you have to do this, you must do this. Um, Stephen King's On Writing just basically said just do what works for you. So that's what I really liked about that book. But I don't know. Maybe I'll check out Story by Robert McKee, but it's not the it's not usually the kind of book I would like to read. Flying Saucers here. Hello. Um, Cabbage Head says, I used to have plenty of time to work on art because I had a part-time job. Some familial crap led me to getting a full-time job that takes up too much time. Still drawing though. Well, that's good to hear, Cabbage Head. Uh, let's see. Fly Fox Pro says, have Mike on now. I don't know if I want to have anybody on now after all the arguing in the chat. I just wanted to have a good stream and talk about Black Ops. I didn't want it to turn into a bunch of fighting. That wasn't my intention. John says have JDA on now. I don't know. I don't want to. I, I don't want to add to the argument. Let's see. Awful Redneck Gaming says Mike summoned me. Well, nice to see you, Awful Redneck Gaming. Um, Blacklist Universe says, "Sai, read it. Take what you can from it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel." That's also a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Like with Save the Cat, I didn't like parts of Save the Cat, but there were other parts I like. So maybe I'll try it out. I'm sure there's something in there for me. Um, Awful Redneck Gaming says, "I like wheels." Says, "But I like squares more." Okay then. Full Custom Hot Dog says, "Have everyone on now." That's not a bad idea. Um, yeah, Fly Fox Pro says Black Ops looks cool. It definitely is, and it's a great story. The first two issues are great, and I'm sure this one will be great too. And I do have the link in the description. Let me get it copied here, and I'll put it here in the chat. So everyone go check out Black Ops. Prodmal says, "We recommending writing books, The Art of War, or the Art of War, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield was pretty helpful for me." All right, I will look into that, man. The only writing books I really like are Stephen King's On Writing and E.B. White's The Elements of Style. Those two are it's just that most writing books and most writing advice is pretty pretentious. I'll just put it that way. And you'll see something from one person that says always do this, but then the other person you look at, they'll say never do this, and so they just contradict each other. That's why I stay away from most advice books. Just do what works for you is the ultimate advice. Let's see, Fly Fox Pro says, "Haven't read the first two." Well, I think that's they have the omnibus tier then. Let's see where it is. I know they had a few tiers that sold out, but um, okay, yeah, that the omnibus of it might be gone then. But they are gonna do an Indiegogo campaign. I don't think they have any more omnibuses left. I just see like the volume 3 stuff. Yeah, but if you yeah, so if you missed out on the omnibus, then dude, they are gonna have their Indiegogo campaign with some more then. And let's see, Timothy Best says get Donald on. That'll be fun. I don't think Donald would stop by, honestly. Um, let's see. Yeah, John Del Rose has a review of Black Ops on his channel. Awful. Or where do we go? There we go. Awful Redneck Gaming says like and share, fellas. John Del Rose says those are real conservative / Christian creators who walk the walk. Smotlock says, has Donald paid you yet? Not 1 cent. So I have no clue what's going on with that book. He leaves me in the dark. I have no clue what's left. He says he has all the accounting done, but refuses to show me. I have no clue what he put any of the money towards. So no, I have no clue what's going on with that book. So I just want to get my money, but I don't think he intends to pay me. Ethan had a really good suggestion where he said that Donald should pay me. I think it was like $2,200 or $2,500 because Donald had already spent that much, but Donald didn't really see eye to eye with Ethan on that. He's like, no, I put that money back in with the campaign money, so I don't have to pay him that much. So Donald's just looking for reasons not to pay me. Rip, but we'll see what happens. It's a really annoying situation. Timothy Best says, get all these dudes in a ring and fight. Timothy Best says, Nasser's pretty slick. He could take most of them. No, I just don't. I don't know. I don't like to have the arguing around here. I like multiple people and they don't like each other, so it's always awkward. John Del Rose says, writing advice books suck. Just write and get 20 books out as fast as possible. Agreed. Agreed 1,000%. The only way to write a good story really is just to read a lot and write a lot. writing books, writing advice things. I mean, I guess I don't know. They might help like a beginner begin to understand things, but and I know I'm no pro. I don't really sell many copies of anything, but writing advice stuff might be all right for like a beginner. But and I'm not saying I don't follow that sort of I don't look for advice anymore. But as far as reading a whole book on it, I mean that's not really. I don't think I really need a whole book to read about it, especially when it's just some dude's opinion and everyone's got a different opinion on writing. And I've just seen so many writing advice things where somebody says always do this one thing, but then somebody else says never do that thing, and everyone just writing advice books. All it is just one person's opinion. None of it's like a solid guide to selling a bunch of copies. So the only real writing advice is just do what works for you. Your stories do not need to follow some formula or whatever some dude says. Fly Fox Pro says he got the omnibus already. Good. I thought you meant like you hadn't backed it at all, and that you didn't have the first two issues. I thought you didn't know about the omnibus, but that's good to hear, man. Um, let's see. Awful Redneck Gaming says quantity over quality. Ooh, no, no, you can have quantity and it not risk quality. Um, I mean, I don't know what more to say on that because people have this misconception that you write 20 books and you wrote them quick, so they must just be rushed. But that's not the case, really. I don't really know how more to address that. So let's see what else. Matthew D. Reese says, "Did you kick Doug?" No, Doug had to go. His family came home from shopping, and so he had to go. I think he's out of town right now. Um, Mr. Hellstorm 74 says, "Should have never got involved with those clowns, but live and learn." Yeah, tell me about it, man. Um, okay, this is funny. Mike says, "If John is a shining example of Christianity, I would be a pagan." I'm sorry, John. That is funny though. Um, Full Custom Hot Dog says, "Do you ever mess with writing prompts?" When I first started writing and didn't have a lot of ideas, I did, look for a few prompts. Um, but they weren't always very helpful, but they at least got the juices flowing back then. So I don't really use prompts anymore. I have too many ideas of my own, but back in the day, I might write a short story, based off a prompt I found. But yeah, I don't really use them anymore. But like 3 years ago, or 3.5, 4 years ago, probably I did. Let's see. Smotlock says you may have to sue or threaten to sue to get paid. I won't ever buy anything Donald works on until he pays you. Well, if I sued, I would spend way more than I would make. Um, I just have to hope that at the end of the day, he could be an honest man for the 5 minutes it takes to pay me for what I did. He has not been an honest man with any of the process so far when it comes to making this book, drawing it, printing it, handling the funds, doing anything properly, crediting me. He has not been an honest man or a man at all when it has come to this book. So I just hope that for 5 minutes, Donald could understand what that means, and I hope that he'll just pay me what I'm owed. We constantly said we'd each get about $4,000 or $5,000, all the way up to 10,000. Yeah, I hope I can get paid. He's he said before, and I posted this screenshot on the Kiwi Farms where he said something about like the colorist is going to be like 3 grand and the letterer will be like $600. So then that's just a lot of profit for the both of us. Like he's talked before about how cheap he's trying to pay the other people working on it, the colorist and letterer, so that way we could have a lot of profits. He's always said about 4 or 5 thousand on the low end to about 10,000 on the high end. And if I sued him, I mean, I would spend way more than that. And it would just be an awful outcome. I would just spend money I don't have. and I would have to spend way more than I would potentially make. So I guess I just have to hope that Donald ends up being a man. That's it. Um, let's see. I'm trying to avoid most of the arguing going on in the chat. Um, let's see. Smotlock says, JDA, love your comic reviews, but your behavior is not very Christian. Forgive Mike and Doug. Um, have you read Alexander Solzhenitsyn? One of my favorite writers. No, I have not. I'm sorry, man. Um, Awful Redneck Gaming says, chill out, John. You look like a lunatic to normal people. John says, Smotlock, gotta warn against false teachers out there. Mike and Doug are not Christians. Um, that's a pretty wild claim, my man. I don't like those kind of claims, man. I understand you don't like them, but that doesn't mean they're not Christians, man. Um, oh, Matt says save the suing until the movie deal gets done. That would never get a movie. Um, let's see. Flying Saucer says, "Is the book going to deliver?" Oh man, I don't know, cause like he's, you know, Donald has made so many excuses, saying first he's like, "Oh, there were these massive, insane biblical waves of rain that came down from the sky and ruined the books because they got delivered to the wrong address." And he was saying like it got delivered to the address across the street where my mail always goes on accident, and I know it always goes there, but when the books didn't show up, I decided not to check there. And then it rained last night, and then the rains were so powerful they ruined all the books, which is impossible. It's impossible. I've had books get rained on, and packages get rained on, and if it has even the slightest packaging, it won't get ruined. Um, and so he's just been a liar about like ordering the books, about the books getting ruined by the rain. If that happened, where's the picture? Like you better believe that if I ordered 2,000 books and the rain ruined them, I would take a picture. I mean, how else did he get a refund from the printer? Did the printer blindly believe him, or did he show the printer a picture? I say Donald should post a picture of the ruined books, but he doesn't have a picture because they were never ruined by the rain. Then right after that, he's like, so now, because he used the printer in Texas supposedly for that. He's like, but so since it got ruined by the rain, I have to use a printer in China. Well, why is he going to China? What did the printer do wrong? Nothing. It's not like they printed it and did a bad job. It's not. They didn't tell it to rain. If it even did rain, I don't think it did. He's like, so I need to use China now, like I should have done from the start, which didn't make any sense. And then he had to delay printing it from China because he said something about like, oh, but I caught a couple word bubbles that were in the spine and would get lost, and now I have to fix them. Well, you didn't catch that when you supposedly printed it the first time? Like, that just doesn't make sense. It's just so convoluted, all his excuses. And so now he says that he printed it in China and it's going to take, like 2 months to get here from China. And I don't know, dude. I don't know if he actually ordered it, if he didn't order it, or uh, I have no clue what's going on. Because he says he's like, oh yeah, I ordered it now from China, guys. It'll be a couple months, but I ordered it. I don't know how to believe it. I don't know how you could believe him. After all the lies, after all the awful things he's done, I don't know how anyone could believe this guy or support him. I have no clue. I have no clue. He is dishonest, incompetent, a thief, and a fraud. So, yeah, I have no clue if that book will ever come out. I hope it does, though. I hope it does come out. I hope he is able to ship it because I want to make money. I want to get my money I'm owed. But knowing Donald, he's going to find an excuse not to pay me. He's going to find a way not to. Do, 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 do. Let's see. What else is going on in the chat? I'm trying not to read like a lot of the fighting stuff. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Fly Fox Pro says, see if you can find One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich, probably the most accessible of his books. All right, I will look that up on Amazon. After the stream, I will look it up on Amazon. Um, And we've got 17 people. We got 17 people watching. So guys, please hit that thumbs up, share out the link, and I will copy the link for my books on Amazon, and I will put it here in the chat. Let's see, buy my books. If you guys haven't bought my books yet, I got 4 books there on Amazon that you guys could buy right now. Buy them on Kindle, read them instantly. Over 800 pages for $11.96. Or you can buy the hard copies. The hard copies are $10 each. Um, let's see. Oh my goodness, there's so much arguing in the chat. I don't know why this is going on. Let's see. Cult Film Video says a hard rain's are gonna fall. We ain't ever getting Brutus. Probably not, man. I have no clue. I have no clue. I don't know how you could be this incompetent, especially when you're the artist. You got the money. You're the artist. You're the one in charge. Like if it's late, it's all on you for not drawing it. The only reason a book is ever late is the artist isn't drawing it. That's it. The only reason. The only reason it's late is the artist did not draw it, did not get it done. That's it. That's it. That's it. I can't think of another reason. Sure, there's exceptions like, oh yeah, our if your what's called your printer has a shutdown and you got to find a new one. Okay, maybe that's something, but that's rare. That's really rare. And it doesn't take that long to find a printer. And if you're doing one of these campaigns, you have quotes from multiple printers. So I mean, maybe there might be another rare excuse here or there, but like 99.999999999% of the time, it's because the artist is just not drawing it. There's really no other reason besides it's not being drawn. So I don't know how he could take this long. I finished the script. I finished 4 scripts back in July 2018. So 2 years. He's had these scripts 2 years. I don't know why it's taken this long, and I don't know if he has any of the money left. Maybe that's why he won't show me the accounting. He says he has it, but he won't show me. So, oh man, awful redneck gaming says John De La Rosa never told you to repent to me. You are being obtuse. Oh my goodness, what is even going on? Uh, okay, I'm getting so lost. Let's see. Mike says, "Are you a prophet, John? Does God tell you what to say?" And John says, "Yes." Uh, yeah. Prodmal says, "The time-tested method of picks, or it didn't happen." Agreed, man. Um, that's the, I mean, the one thing he could supposedly prove, and he doesn't want to prove it. Like, come on, man, show us a picture of the ruined books. Uh, Mike says, "You know what the Bible tells us to do with false prophets, John." Let's see. Uh, okay, Matt says, "It sounds like Donald should have watched the Matriarchy last night." Yeah, the Matriarchy is Matt's stream he does every week, and you guys should all go sub to Matt. Just go click on his name there, Matthew D. Reese. He does a good stream. Um, let's see. Oh man, the chat's moving like pretty fast here. Um, Awful Redneck Gaming says Mike left CG, which cost him hundreds of thousands. That's a fact. John has lost $10. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Awful Redneck Gaming says Mike rode CG for 2 years until they kicked him out. I left to stand for a friend when I saw the grift happening originally. Mike attacked and hates me for it. Uh, let's see. Jared Summers says, "When the hell is this John Psycho? He claims he's a prophet." Mike says, "JDA, you big dummy. I left CG after the Fall of Rome stream. Pay better attention, prophet. You don't even know the past. You claim to know the future?" Baron Jack Stafford says, "From the first time I heard he dropped the D from Donald to be pretentious and heard him say 3 words, I knew that he was an issue." Oh my goodness, man. I mean, uh, I totally understand, man. Like, I wish I realized just how awful he was at the start. Like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to make comics, and I didn't understand the concept of being unequally yoked in a business partnership. That was something Mike S. Miller and Elliot Fernandez actually both talked to me about, with being unequally yoked in business, and I didn't really understand that concept. And so I didn't think it mattered that we were pretty different people. I thought we could still make a comic, and apparently not. I should have chosen a better person to work with. But I don't know, man. I should have been wiser choosing who I worked with. Smotlock says, I miss seeing all you guys on EVS streams. His streams have not been as good for the past year or so because outside of Malin and Cecil, the guests are boring. Well, Malin and Cecil are boring to me, man, but I get you, man. Those definitely were fun streams, but yeah, there's no going back to that, man. So sorry, Smotlock. Lock. I mean, actually, we were all on a stream on Oz Arts' channel. We were all on a stream, like me, Ethan, Mike, Doug. Who else was there? There might have been a couple other people there, but we were all on Oz Arts stream together. I forget what is the name of the stream was, but we were on some streams together, and then I was on a stream with Ethan too on Oz Arts stream. Me, Oz, and Ethan for a little bit talking about this whole Donald problem, and Ethan was actually trying to be helpful and figure out how to get me paid, but of course Donald doesn't want to pay me, so Donald just shot it down. And so I mean, Ethan, if you're listening, thanks for trying, but Donald's just never ever gonna pay me. I don't think. I hope he does, man. I really hope Donald pays me. We'll see. Let's see. Matthew D. Reed says, I can't read instantly. It takes me time. I need to head out, though. I really want to have you back on the show sometime. We'll see you, Matt, and I would love to be back on your show sometime, man. Let's see. John De La Rose says, Mike, you got slammed for your tweet, and they piled on you. Happy to get the money until then, yeah? Mike says, that was almost 2 months before I left, genius. Cabbage Head says, if you had to write a genre that wasn't horror, what would it be? Like mystery or suspense thriller, anything along those lines. They could all have creepy elements, so yeah, anything like that, really. Let's see. Oh my goodness, this is just going and going. There's it's funny because there's half the chat, like Matt when he was just here, and Cabbage Head, that they're interested in what I have to say on here, and then there's John and Mike and Awful Redneck Gaming, just that they have no clue probably what I'm talking about. They're not paying attention to me. They're just going back and forth arguing. Awful Redneck Gaming says, at John De La Rose, your version of reality does not seem to be reality. John De La Rose says, let's see, at Awful Redneck Gaming, reality's a tough place right now, but I stick to truth because I know the end game and we already win. Hope you join us. Oh man, this is moving really fast. Baron Jack Stafford says, John De La Rose, the 127th most influential European in comics. The Firefly Family Podcast says, Rico. John De La Rose says, I hope Mike and Doug join eventually too. Never too late, and no one is lost completely. Smotluck says, I will check it out. Yeah, I forget the name of the streams if you're talking about the one I was on with Ethan, but yeah, I think it was Oz Arts stream number 17 or 18, something around there. It'll say. Also, Redneck Gaming says, John De La Rose, I'm on the side of God. I don't really care if you believe I am or not. It isn't up to you to verify if I'm a Christian or not. Thank you for your invitation. Also, Redneck Gaming, that's actually the best point in all of this. John, you could dislike people, but it really isn't up for you to decide or not if somebody's a Christian or not. And John, I do like you, man, and I would have you on my channel anytime, man. But I really don't like when you say somebody else isn't a Christian. John says, Donald's not going to pay you, sadly. Yeah, that's what it really looks like, man. I hope he does, but I don't know. That would require him to be a decent human being, and he's not one. Um. Oh man, Alpha Redneck Gaming says you're gonna need to get a baseball bat and do a meet and greet with Donald needs to get any money out of him, figuratively, of course. I agree, man. Figuratively. Baron Jack Stafford says John De La Rose. I understand there may be a language barrier and you may not get English humor. Fly Fox Pro says Nasser, I'm going to write some prose today in honor of you. Well, thank you so much, Fly Fox Pro. John De La Rose says, I get you're trying to own me, but saying, this is at Baron Jack Stafford. He says, I get that you're trying to own me, but saying I'm 127th in comics is high praise if you want to go down a list. Um, you ever wrote bad fanfic? No, I've never written fanfic. Baron Jack Stafford says, I am the most influential Welshman in comics because identity politics is more important than quality product. John De La Rose says, some folk are bad at bants and either self-own or praise passive aggressively. I find it funny. Full Custom Hot Dog says, aren't you two guys supposed to turn each other's cheeks or something? John De La Rose says, sorry you don't like it. I know it's uncomfortable. I mean, it's uncomfortable because I don't want my friends fighting here in my live chat, man, and it's not comfortable for you to go around saying who's actually a Christian or not when you're not the person that decides that. That's no, man, that's not cool. He said it's uncomfortable for me too. I lament for those who use the name of Christ for money. Also, Redneck Gaming says, I actually like John, but the man is crazy. He won't let go of this unnatural hatred for Mike and Doug. I agree. I mean, like, I don't know, man. I just don't know who goes around like starting all these fights with people they don't like. If I don't like someone, I avoid them. Jason says, kick Nasser. Jason, you have the link. I sent it to you on Facebook, man. Jason, I don't know how much longer I'm going, but if you want to get on here even for a couple minutes, you can if you want. Um, let's see. Awful Redneck Gaming says, Jiminy. John says, at Awful Redneck Gaming, I'm not crazy. I don't know you. Um, Furious TV says, I had to butt Nasser. Hello, Furious TV. Oh, okay. Jason says he's out getting his car fixed. Um, Mike says, I'm the most influential half Japanese man in comics. Timothy Best says, karate chop Nasser. Um, Mike says, you don't want us fighting. You've got more viewers now than you did when Doug was here. I don't care about viewers, man. I care about having a good conversation on the stream and selling books, which I'm putting the link to my books here in the chat. Um, no, maybe we will get to blood sports. Maybe I'll have you and John on. Firefly Family Podcast says, hail the chat. Hail the chat, of course. Ferris TV says he's got the. Oh my goodness. John Delarose says Doug and Mike won't let go of their natural hatred for me. It sucks. It is what it is. But if they want an enemy, they can have one. I don't think either of them want an enemy. I don't think I've seen either of them start anything with you, man. I don't. I just don't like any of this fighting. Awful Redneck Gaming says drama sells. All right, if drama sells, I need everybody watching, all 21 of you, to please buy my books on Amazon. I have 4 of them up there, and you will get them instantly to read on any device. If you get the ebooks or if you get the hard copies, they'll arrive in about 2 or 3 days, and that is faster than any crowdfund. Uh, Mike says, John, I love you. I want what's best for you. Take your lithium. Just saying says, got my copy of Eclipse Theater today. Awesome. Gonna check it out over the weekend. I'm gonna hit you up about Trixie Kane in the morning. Yeah, just saying. I replied to your email the other day about the comics. So yeah, whenever you want to buy them, just let me know and I will send them your way, dude. But nice to see you here in the chat. Just saying, one of our new subs around here. Thank you so much, dude, for all your support. Um, oh my goodness. John says, "Stop with the snide backhanded expletive. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're a bitter guy who puts a smile on it." Fierce TV says, "The half Japanese man in comics doing effing boring art style and undynamic page of statue-like character. Excuse me, sorry. That have barely any persona." Jason says, "I'm not home now, so can't come on." Off and Nick is John. It's like you need to feel persecuted. The world persecutes Christians enough without you bringing your personal beef into it. That's a good point. Um, let's see. Furious TV says you are a disgrace to the agility and dynamism of Japanese art. He says your art is as stiff as a concrete statue with osteoporosis, Mike. Oh man. Uh um okay, John wants to come on and lay out a timeline. Maybe. Let me get through a couple more of these. Yeah. Firefly Family Podcast says give John the link. Smotluck says I see the Quartering has a video about Freddy Krueger getting woke. Why do they have to ruin everything? Well, it's not like they actually made anything woke, like they made like a woke movie or anything. It's just one guy said, "Oh, I want to do this," and then everyone freaks out like, "Oh, it's getting woke." Like, wait for the movie first. But um um okay. Mike says you were attacking Doug, dummy. Um that is a good point. That is a good point. I was just streaming with Doug and John um started being angry in the chat, which I don't like. John, I like you, but I didn't like the attacks out of nowhere since we hadn't mentioned you, and he wasn't even looking. Doug wasn't even looking at the chat, um, and it just started this big argument, and I don't like. Uh, I just don't like these arguments. Oh man. Full Custom Hot Dog says this is like blood sports with Nasser as text to speech. Oh man. Um, John says I said Doug's afraid to talk to me. Bring me on. It's true. Um. Okay. Okay. Now I'm all caught up in the chat. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to have these guys on for this blood sports thing. Okay, I will send. We will go for like 5 more minutes, and in the last 5 minutes, John and Mike will both have the link. So I'm gonna send it to them now, and they will have the link for the last like 5 minutes of this stream. So okay, there we go. Okay, so now they have the link. Um, Let me get the link to my books copied as well, and I'm going to put the link to my books here in the chat. Um, there we go, and I will do a quick screen share as well. I don't know if either guest is getting on here, but I will do a quick screen share where we will take a look at my books. I have 4 books here, you guys. I have The Eclipse Theater that you can see there at the bottom. That's a short story collection, 24 short stories. Then I have a horror novel called Eternity and its sequel, Inner Demons. And then my final book, my 4th book, is Duality, which is a horror comedy. All these books are $2.99 for the ebooks, and if you buy them right now, you get over 800 pages available to read instantly on any device. Or if you get the hard copies, they're each $10, and those take like 2 days to get to you from Amazon. So if you guys want to get my books, those are them, and the link is in the chat as well as in the description. And let me see here. All right, so we got Mike here, and we got John. So we have officially started Internet Blood Sports on my channel.
Look how angry you are, John. Relax.
I don't know. I don't like the snide stuff, and I don't like that
Well,
sort of back. You stop it. You did it first the whole way through.
No,
So-
dude, you freaking attacked Doug. Don't lie.
No. So
Yes.
our
Nasser,
history here and
everyone
why
was there.
Mike
You attacked
attacked me
Doug first.
is because Mike wanted to appease War Campaign to get money from them because Mike does this all the time. You were tight
That
with
is
them, Mike.
so
Stop pretending like you
delusional,
weren't. You had
dude.
sketch therapy
Take
as a
your
mod. You
lithium.
with
It's
everybody.
okay.
Oh my gosh, Mike! Stop lying. Lying's nasty. You were tight with them. You were tight with them for a long time.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a
and
minute
you
here
started
too.
calling.
I'm gonna give you a minute here.
You started calling me, and this is where it comes from. Mike called me fake Christian when I didn't.
But John,
Never
John,
attacked
give me a
him.
minute.
That was the deal.
but John, didn't you also go on a War Campaign stream like a year
Hold
ago
on,
and tried to make
I wanna
peace?
hear
And then
this.
I tried to
they
make
had you
peace.
say Hail
I
Caesar.
want to hear this.
So what
this-
would be the difference of Mike already having peace with them versus you trying to make peace? Like, what's the
No,
difference
no,
in that?
wait.
Because
when was I trying to appease the
Mike
War
attacked
Campaign?
me on behalf of them was where it came from. So,
No,
gosh, Mike, you are
dude.
nasty. You're just a nasty guy.
Hold
So
on, I want to hear. I want to hear what Mike
No,
has to
this-
say.
this
Hold on,
is-
I want to hear
this
what
is
Mike
hilarious.
has to say. real quick.
When was I trying to appease War Campaign? Explain this. to me.
for 2+ years, Mike. Come on, you were
Give me
there
an example.
every day.
Give me an example.
You were on their threads all the time, just talking smack with them about other creators. You do this all
Give
the time.
me an example. Of
Sure,
me
the time
appeasing
when you
War
went on their threads and called me a fake Christian, and then talked smack about my book to back it up. So,
Called
which you
a
haven't
fake
read.
Christian. What were the words
Yeah.
I used?
You said that John Delarose is not. I got to go look it up again, but I posted it several times, and I've done a video
Yeah,
about it.
I know.
to show
I
what
remember you
went on.
posting it, and what you posted me saying was not me calling you a
Yes,
fake
it,
Christian.
yes, it was. Yes,
No,
it
it wasn't.
was.
You're
100% it
delusional,
was, Mike.
You're delusional, bro.
Okay, well, I'll grab it.
Go grab it.
Let's see if
Alright,
I can
and,
find a screenshot here.
And super chats.
Nasser in the chat says send super chats. If you guys want to listen to
Send
him,
super chats.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Mike's been nasty to me for 2+ years, and it just sucks.
Okay.
I mean, it
Dude,
is what
I
it is.
ignored you for 2.5 years, and you can't handle it.
Mike, you made a
I'm
stream
not
about
going
me
to
calling
the
me a
prom
psycho
about
for an hour and a half when you were launching a book in order to promote your product. It was really sick.
It was
Well,
in
so-
response to you writing a literal argument hit piece against me, dummy.
I wrote
I
saying I
can't
didn't feel sorry
respond-
for you
I
getting
can't
banned
respond
because
to
of the way that you
Your
treat
hit
people.
pieces, I
You
can't
treat
respond
people
to your hit
badly.
pieces, otherwise,
Right, and I'm responding to
No,
you.
you're not.
So yes, I am.
Well-
you started it. I
well-
never attacked you before you went
started
on.
Well, well, how about this?
He
How about this?
started it.
Wow, Mike. Wow,
Hold
you're a
on.
child.
How about
Listen to
this?
you.
You're a
John,
child.
I remember when
literally not
I
doing
remember when War Campaign lied about you and they said you were some I forget it was like ethno something or other and
Yeah,
And
that's
no,
why
that's
Doug
what-
hates me,
right
right?
and
Exactly.
Yeah, I
and,
actually-
and Mike,
Doug-
and
Doug
Mike
got
had
on
you
me for
on
that.
and Mike was like the only person I saw that had you on to speak. So
So Mike's direct quote was,
That
"John
is
keeps saying
correct.
he's a Christian, but if you judge a tree by its fruit," was his direct quote. When he attacked me, I had never said a bad word about Mike. He just came out of the blue on a War Campaign thread and said this back in 2018, and that was nasty. I took exception to that, and that's been the history here. So because you went after me, you then decided I was bad to get in with the War Campaign guys and hit me on the Christian level. It was nasty.
Dude,
There's that's
I've been at war with War Campaign for a year.
Well, right. I know the rest of us have been for 2+ years, and you during that time.
I literally launched my campaign 2 years ago last week. My first campaign.
same. I think we launched the day apart.
What'd you
During
say?
that time, you were
I said
after
same,
me.
Mike.
It
We
was
launched.
sad.
Oh, me or him?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying what to me. I was saying that me and you launched a day apart. And I also wanted to say that, yay, we did get a super chat. Thank you, Andrew, from the Firefly Family Podcast for $2.99. Says, bless. Everybody goes up to the Firefly Family Podcast. They do a different horror movie every Friday night. They do a watch along. So go ahead and sub to them if you guys like horror movies.
So this was the start of it. I'd never fought Mike or said a bad word about him. I'm actually sharing the screen so you can see it. And this is where Mike, he was in a War Campaign thread, and he says, yeah, John keeps saying he's a Christian, but if you judge a tree by its fruit, and I said, if you back Lone Star, are you happy? Mike Miller is going around sniping at other creators' faith on the internet because he's upset I've produced multiple books in the time he's been making excuses for months. And that's what it seemed to be. It seems like you were late, and that was it.
Literally in the chat, you just said that me and Doug are fake Christians. You came right out and said it. You didn't say, hey, why don't you judge Mike and Doug on their fruits? You said they're fake Christians. So
yeah. So I'm just saying directly.
I know. I
I get you're more passive aggressive than me.
No, spare me.
So that's what you say. But no, it's not hypocrisy. It's true now. You won't. All right, Mike. Confess Jesus is the Christ live on the air, and that God raised him from the dead, and we'll settle that
every day. Good.
Okay. Well, then I believe you. Then we're good. But I mean, you refused to do that, and you started talking about how you'd be a pagan just to own me. You said you'd be a pagan just to own me. It was creepy.
No, I didn't. I said if you were the shining example of Christianity, I would be a pagan.
I'm a great example.
I would want nothing to do with any faith for which you are the shining example of.
So you want nothing to do with any faith that like would accept me. That's pretty nasty, Mike. And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I didn't say accept you. Stop changing the words that are coming out of my mouth. I said very specifically.
Okay.
If you were the shining example of what it meant to be a Christian, I would not want to be a Christian.
Okay. Well, I don't know what is this shining example.
What I said.
But I am a Christian, and it's tacky that you do this to me all the time. It really is.
Oh, cry, dude. Then stop attacking me. Stop attacking Doug. Stop.
You did it first.
Oh, brother.
Doug acts like
2 years ago. You said something 2 years ago. You started it.
Mike, you made a giant stream calling me a psycho and telling me I needed medication.
What was I responding to?
It's all garbage.
What was I responding to? What was I responding to?
My piece saying that Mike
deserves to be blacklisted because an article about what a horrible fake Christian I am, and that's what I was responding to.
You do it to other people.
You're crying that I actually responded to it. Shut up, John. You're an idiot.
Yeah, you started it first, and you're crying because I responded to you. That's what it comes down to.
He started it.
Oh, Mike, you can't even talk like an adult. It's really sad. Really sad.
Grow
All right. Well, let me read
you grow up.
Chat
you're
here.
the one talking like a child.
Baron Jack Stafford. Baron Jack Stafford says, talk about being a woman. You're still mad about what a stranger said on the internet in 2018.
Right.
Right. And so Mike's mad about my blog from a year and a half ago. Also,
I'm not even mad.
What are you talking about? You just went on a rant about it. You're crazy.
I didn't, because you were saying that I came out of the blue and I did this horrible video. I was literally responding to you.
Yeah, and I was literally responding to your situation, which was responding to what you were attacking me. Right.
I don't think about you, John. I know that bothers you. I don't want to go to the prom with you.
You'll pop in the chat and just call me names. I mean, you did.
I was in the chat and I was responding to you talking crap to Doug. Again, it's always you instigating stuff. You would come
never
on
instigating.
my Bible stream. On my Bible study, you would.
I would never say a word during your Bible study except for talking about the Bible. Nope.
Everyone
when you were talking about
who watches cross-examinations and watches that, please speak up in the chat because everybody.
Mike uses the first 20 minutes of his Bible streams to promote his books, which is kind of tacky.
Once in a blue moon.
You do, and so
there was actually a time when I put the link for Lone Star in one of Mike's Bible streams, and he told me that was not the place.
Yeah,
so I don't think
wishy-washy when he does that.
I don't think he always does it.
I never interrupted a Bible talk. That's patently false. Patently false.
You're a bald-faced liar, dude.
No, I'm not.
But there we go.
John, my question for you though. My question for you though was when me and Doug were just on here trying to talk about Moby Dick. Like I don't understand why the whole argument and stuff started in the chat, like when you started saying like have me on so Doug will be scared to face.
I just said have me on because it was funny.
Like I don't know, man. It's just like not the sort of thing I go for around here.
Doug is a chicken to talk to me ever since the war campaign went off on me also. So
you might have started with have me on and then you started calling him a coward.
No. Doug no, I didn't do that. I didn't do that until Doug called me a psycho on the stream. So once Doug went there, well, go back. He called me a psycho on the stream, and that's why I went.
Someone a psycho or a fake Christian?
Yeah. Well, I'm skeptical, honestly, about people who are trying to use a Bible to actually make money off of products. Yes.
Pray tell, how do I do that?
How do you do that? I mean, your entire stream is that, and then you shit on other Christian creators. That's what you do.
Oh wait, my entire stream is about what now?
Is about using the Bible to promote your MAGA comics or whatnot. You do it all the time.
Really? I do it all the time.
The time.
You watch every day, do you?
I don't anymore because you were rude to me and I just peaced out.
When did you stop watching?
I stopped watching, probably about a year ago. I don't know.
About a year ago. When did I do the MAGA comics?
You've been talking about the MAGA comics for the last year, 100%.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, February is when I came up with the idea.
No, you didn't.
You're an idiot, John. You're a liar. You're a fool.
This was a pretty recent comic idea. I don't remember Mike ever talking about anything like that.
It was February.
All right. Well, maybe. Well, I guess it was February when it started the MAGA comic. Whatever. Look, if I concede something, you just
caught in a lie.
I'm not lying about anything, Mike. Stop it.
You literally are
out of control.
You literally are.
I'm literally not.
Furious TV says make selling books on top of drama great again. Exactly. So I'm putting the link in the chat for my books. If you guys want to buy them, that's the link. They're also in the description. We got 26 people in here. Please hit the thumbs up. Share out the stream. We'll go for a little bit longer. Since this is like my most this is like my highest view count, like live view count I've had in a while. Like I don't remember the last time I had 26 people in here. I think I had 20 yesterday. So this is the highest I've had in months.
So it's sad. Mike will be nasty to me no matter what, and no matter what the situation, that's what he'll do. You just said that, but you've been going hard on me for the last hour.
I'd be nasty to people too if they told me I was a fake Christian.
Yeah,
well, of course I did. Of course, Mike attacked me first, and then I went hard. So, and it looks like Mike doesn't actually want to promote Christian fellowship because he hates Christians and would rather hang out with atheists and LGBTs and things like that, just like all these guys.
Not liking one guy does not mean he doesn't like promoting Christians.
No. Yeah,
I mean, Mike's promoted me before.
Mike's really nasty. So it's sad, and I wish it wasn't the case. And I wish we could all come together and like form an actual coalition of real Christian MAGA.
That's what you're butthurt about, dude. You're constantly asking me to do stuff with you. I have all the DMs from Facebook.
Of course,
and you get all freaking mad. You get all mad and you attack me.
I'm trying to take the initiative
because
I'm trying to take the initiative to try to patch things and make things right. Of course I am.
Because
of course I do that. That's the right thing to do. It is the best thing to do. So because it is good for brothers. It is good for brothers to dwell together in unity. That is the goal at the end of the day. And as much as we might have the bants and angry hate right here. Right now, you hate me and it sucks.
I don't, John.
I would love to get past this.
I really wish
to get something going. So there you go. It'd be great.
I honestly think you should see somebody.
Yeah, see, Mike, you just can't say anything positive or constructive whatsoever. You just say nasty things all the time.
I'm not being.
I understand you're not being facetious at all, but it's nasty, and you're very wrong. So
sometimes you got to pull the Band-Aid off.
I don't know. There's no Band-Aid, Mike. I'm doing my thing. I'm making monthly comics, and it's working. It's great. We're having fun, and we are doing it in a positive way, and we're promoting a lot of positive culture. And I just don't see you doing that for other people very much, unless they're a bigger target.
Then you clearly don't watch my show. I'm not going to say anything negative about John with his kid in the back of the room. So
thank you, Mike. Yeah, jeez. Except for you'll tell me to go get meds. I mean, what a nasty person you are.
I'm pretty sure
you need to stop that.
John.
Does your son understand that statement? I doubt it.
Probably not, but whatever.
If Mike's a fake Christian, why do you want to be promoted by him or Doug?
I don't care about the promotion, guys. I care about
but you've talked about being blacklisted from their channels.
Of course I am blacklisted.
But yes. But why would you want to be able to get on their channels, though?
Mike, you're blacklisted from Marvel. Do you want to go work for Marvel right now?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Mike talks about how he's blacklisted from the industry. He doesn't want to go work for them. It just is a thing that exists, and it's wrong. And it's especially wrong for people who are Christian conservatives.
But it's only wrong if you want to work for them.
Right, I don't want to work for them either. Right.
Like if McDonald's blacklists me, I'm not going to care because I don't want to work at McDonald's.
I would write an article about it and let people know that McDonald's is blacklisting conservative Christians 100%.
Did you write an article about Indiegogo shadow banning me?
Of course not, because I wrote the article because I looked it up and I then searched your product and you were not shadow banned.
You searched it with the name.
I searched Magnificent.
Sort of like
Magnificent showed up.
So, like, if I'd have searched, what was your book, Thunder?
No, like the thing about being blacklisted.
If you would have searched, now this is shadow banning. If you would have searched Dynamite Thor, it did not come up, and this is why Bounding Into Comics wrote an article about that because I was actually shadow banned. So I know the difference. You came up. Your product's there.
Search. If you don't type the name in other words, you can't browse the actual book.
You couldn't type my book's name in.
No,
right?
Zero. That's Kickstarter. This is Indiegogo, right?
Yeah,
I've had to go into arbitration against Indiegogo for what they've done. So it's really? neither platform's better, and it was resolved amicably for all parties. Is what I'm supposed to say. So.
But the thing about Mike's book is that, like, to find it, you have to already know about it. So his thing is that, like, people that don't know, that are just looking for something cool or just looking for comics to back, seeing what's doing good, you know, if they're looking through those books, they're not going to be able to find if they just click comics.
Okay, so if you go into Explore,
that's right.
That's okay. I understand now. All right, so I was hearing something that, like, you couldn't search the comic, and so I typed in Magnificent, and I saw, oh, you can search the comic.
No, the word search one, word search still works. You could type the word "the" in there; it would show up eventually, but that's just a word search.
All right, I'll cover that. You want me to cover that?
Sure.
Okay, I'll cover it. Okay, fair. Yeah, no, I don't. I am opposed. I am opposed to the blacklisting of conservatives and Christians, and it happens on every platform. And this is exactly why we.
Dude, I spoke up. I spoke up for you after when yours was shadow banned. After I understood what shadow banning was, I spoke up for you because I don't care if I like you or not. That's cancel culture is the enemy.
Yeah, it is, and this is the whole deal, and we're finally getting somewhere with this because this is we have odds stacked against us, right? And we have corporations stacked against us. We have the entire world stacked against us. And so when we're just pushing each other down, like how does that get us forward at all? It's never going to. And that's exactly why we need to do the opposite, right?
Yeah, in theory.
Cool. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been trying to say for 2 years.
I want to address this guy in the chat because He thinks I accepted Donald's offer, but I didn't. When Donald offered me $20 to be done with him and make only $20 in the campaign, this guy says that I settled for it, but I did not. So he says that I accepted it here. So no, I didn't. No way did I accept that. I'm hoping Donald could be a man for 5 minutes and be an honest person and pay me what I'm owed, but he won't even show me the accounting, so I have no clue what's left. I don't even know what our shipping budget is. Like, he can't even tell me we have this much money left, and after we ship out the books, we'll see what remains. Like, he can't tell me that. He won't tell me where any of the money went. So, yeah, he's definitely not trustworthy.
This guy, this Furious TV guy, just seems to be attacking all of us. So he seems to be one of those. Those shills. There you go.
Yeah, and the lesson is just don't be unequally yoked with who you choose to work with.
Presbyterian all the way. I don't even understand that.
Hold on, what is this?
Fake Christian Mike. I knew it all along. Effing Presbyterian all the way. Always crying. Presbyterian.
Misspelling always. At least they censored the swearing. I always like that on my channel.
They don't send their best and brightest.
All right, I'll take further initiative, Mike, because I see what's going down here, and I do want to walk this walk, and so I apologize for calling you a fake Christian, and I was over the line.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'll apologize. I mean,
that's what you said.
I apologize for being mean and calling you bad names.
Thanks,
dude. I honestly think, and I know you say it sounds mean and it sounds harsh and stuff, but I think maybe you should talk to somebody because
I'm good.
Blow up. That's not reasonable, rational behavior. You blow up at the slightest thing. And I'm not saying
no more than anybody else,
Yeah, quite a bit more than most people.
No, of course, being told you're not a Christian when this is the most important thing in my life is awful. There's nothing more awful than that.
You did to me and Doug.
Yeah, so I did it back, and
did I blow up?
That. Yes.
Did Doug blow up? No, we didn't.
You did it in a way where you're more media savvy and you kind of smirked
I'm the least media savvy person in the room, and that's saying a lot.
I don't know about that, but that's where it was. So I mean, whatever. I mean, you apologized. I apologized. It's water under the bridge to me. So I will let that go now. I didn't blow up. So
John, honestly, you do. That's my biggest issue with you, is the way you will react to the most moderate of things. You will just flip out, start cussing all over the place, and just start demeaning people. And it's like, whoa, dude, this is not normal behavior.
I have, and this is a text thing. So I see Doug calls me psycho, and I have a rule that I just hit back 10 times harder if somebody's going to hit me like that. And so I will always hit back, and it's not. But I'm sorry. I mean, whatever. But
that's the rule book we're supposed to abide.
I'm not perfect, but I've dealt with enough internet. I've dealt with enough internet to know that, like, sitting and taking it is the problem with conservatism in general, and that's why we lose, because the media just keeps going boom, 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 and then we just sit and take it all day long and really get nowhere. And so that hitting back online is kind of an important way to shift the narrative and shift the Overton window all the way, and that's my strategy. It works to some degree, sometimes it doesn't. But
if you're doing it purposefully and not out of emotion, then
I always tell people this is my MO. If somebody calls me a psycho, if somebody calls me an SJW, if somebody calls me a whatever, I'm just going to hit them back 10 times as hard, and that's it.
Which makes you look like a psycho, SJW.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't care what I look like. So
well, no, I'm just saying you're giving them the reason.
But they already did it. They're going to do it anyway. That's the thing.
And then you're encouraging them to continue to believe and propagate that belief.
But SJWs aren't going to just suddenly come over and
Doug
be
is an
friendly with
SJW?
us. I think he's conservative Inc., which is another story. So yeah,
maybe your terminologies are just different from my own, but I honestly think that's completely wrong.
Well, I've attempted to have discussions about it, and that's what prompted the problem, because he went off ethno-state nonsense on me, and that's the problem with Doug, unfortunately. So
yeah, dude, I had you on my show to clear that whole issue up.
Yeah, and then people took everything very wrong just because I said I wanted to have a Christian president and I would only vote for a Christian president, which is why I support Kanye West for president, by the way.
Okay, that's
Trump 2020.
Yeah, Trump 2020 for sure.
Let's see.
But it seems like we're getting somewhere, and we're talking like human beings, which is all I've really cared about. So, the red cap. Yeah, bad lighting, unfortunately.
Yeah, Fierce TV is now angry about the lighting.
All right. Well, we're way past 5 minutes. I'm trying to fulfill a bunch of orders that I'm like 8 months behind on. So.
All right.
Thanks for the chat, boys.
I will cover your shadow banning and link your Indiegogo tomorrow.
I think you should also cover MailChimp dumping John Malin and Dynamite kneecapping Cecil.
I'm not covering Cecil because Cecil is a Democrat.
It doesn't matter.
So I don't cover Democrats.
Cancel culture is the enemy, John.
Democrats are the enemy. Sorry.
Cancel culture is the enemy.
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's not the same thing. If somebody on our side tried to do it to a Democrat, I'd be just as freaking mad. It's you don't stop people from making a living because you disagree with them politically. Period.
That's fair. I agree with that.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
I agree too. I was just making a joke.
Mega7.com. Go get some. Thanks for having me on, Nasser.
Mega7.com. Peace.
Later.
All right.
Well, I think that was positive. Was that positive, Nasser?
I think that was positive too, actually, and I was surprised because you guys did get along at the end, and I for one never thought you guys would, and when everybody was always saying like, John, Mike, you two need to forgive each other, become pals, I was always like, who cares? People could hate each other, it's fine, and I always thought you guys were just gonna always hate each other.
I do think there's an importance in this is why I'm so on this type of stuff. And when I see this sort of like, back and forth, it doesn't have to be me if it's, say Doug hates Vox Day. And that's really, most people just hate me because I'm a proxy target for Vox Day is what it comes down to. And that's actually where Mike started to dislike me also. And that's the thing. And I watch this and I go, guys, the odds are so stacked against us. Like, every corporation, every church, every political everything it's all going hard against us. And if we just sit and divide ourselves, we're never going to get anywhere. And that is like the most important thing to me. And I say, you know, it's done so much on the conservative side, so much.
I've seen you and like Sir Silva and a few others talking about this recently. Especially recently, there's been a lot of talk about conservative and Christian arts and what gets promoted and what doesn't. And honestly, a lot of these right-leaning people, they just never care to share any sort of or even create any conservative or Christian messages. And you know, it's like I've been reading Moby Dick recently, and you know, I go back to a lot of these old books like Dracula, and they all have pretty positive Christian messages or conservative messages, or even just messages that are just normal morals, like you know, things that lack today. And I mean, it's
and it'd get canceled today. That's the thing. It would get canceled.
You're exactly right.
If you're neutral, you get canceled at this point.
That's true.
Right? So, like, that's why it's so important for us to act as a block together. It really is. And I view it as a mission, because we're never going to transform culture unless we get our head out of our asses to get that going. And the reason this is a big problem for us in general, if you think about it, is because we are individualists, right? And so we work individually. So it's like, well, you know, Mike might not, you know, like this policy that I stand for, and I might not like this policy that Mike stands for. Yeah. Mike might be, you know, really big fans of Ben Shapiro, who I don't like, and
I don't like him either.
I don't like him either. Yeah. You know, he might not like Vox or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I try not to spend my entire feed talking about Ben Shapiro and how bad he is or whatever. Because if people are listening to Ben Shapiro, I'd much rather have that than people listening to AOC. Right.
Same, a billion percent.
So having a fight there perpetually just because of some nebulous reason doesn't advance us. And, you know, look, I've got a small audience, whatever. I mean, I move, you know, 300 comics, and I move about 1,000 books, right? Whenever I come out with something.
I would love to move 1,000 of those, man.
To Mike, because Mike was in a bigger space that's small to him. I think he's getting to a spot now after the Ethan audience left, where he, you know, might be in a spot where it's like similar in size. But the thing is, like, my audience tunes out from him, his audience tunes out from me. How does that benefit either of us? Like, if even 10% of my audience was like, hey, you know, oh, John and Mike are cool, I'll check out Mike, you know, that's 30 backers for Mike. That's a big deal. And these are people who naturally should be friends and part of our collective movement with all of us. It is important stuff. And that's why I go so hard on this stuff, because when I see the guys, and I view Mike and Doug at the top, right? They're kind of at the top compared to a lot of us. When I view the guys at the top really not standing like that, it's not a good foundation to build a movement on. And we need a movement again. We really do.
Yeah, and I just put your books here in the chat, so everybody go there to Amazon and get John's books. He's got 1 million of them up now. I forget what number even up to. It's the hard part more and more every time I talk to you.
The hard part for me is I have a new book out every 30 days or so, sometimes even less, sometimes every 15 days. And so I'm not on the same thing over and over again. So I don't have a brand that I'm like just hard on the band for months at a time. And so that's a difficult thing. But what's interesting is on the back end of Amazon, you know, I hit the right targets on my advertising, and those brands can work themselves as their own things and their own silos. So if one goes bad, then I've still got all these others. That's my strategy of doing things. And so while I may sell 150 copies of Robotoad and 150 copies of Dynamite Thor, and then I put them on Amazon and they sell another 150 copies each, and then Flying Sparks is still selling 100 copies every month, you know, it ends up being 1,000 books a month of all the books combined, right? Yeah. So that's where it goes, and that's where people have a hard time seeing it, because they're so used to that leaderboard of that one book like a year going, right, from these guys. So it's just a different strategy, and it's working pretty well.
Yeah, and you know what you said a moment ago about having another movement. I don't know if I want exactly a movement really. Like I don't want to say, oh, I'm part of this group.
I want a movement
I would at
based on
least
principles.
I would at
right?
least like to have like a group of people. I mean, that like
Yeah.
we could help promote each other, and because I mean me and you both experienced it 2 years ago. When you had your Flying Sparks campaign and I had Stardust, and when there's a group of people that just want to promote each other, and the audience gets real hype over it, and they want to see how much money they can put into these campaigns, how many people they could get behind it, and how many people they could share it with. Like it works wonders. And when that group splits off like 12 different ways, like like there's still me and you and Tim and Mark and the other sort of Christians in one group, and then everyone else is over there, and it just gets real shattered and everybody's divided. It's it
and there's no reason to be. There's really no reason to be. So yeah,
there never was any reason to sort of for everything to go south the way it did. Because it did nobody any good the way our whole sort of group from 2 years ago disbanded, and I know why it did, because well, I don't want to get into the whole history of it. We already know this thing happened, then that thing, then this thing, then that thing, and I do think it'd be good for us if we have a sort of group that promotes everybody, but it doesn't have to be like a whole movement. I guess it just has to be just normal people putting out books,
and we don't have to just like be spamming links nonstop and nothing else. We can have good conversations about real topics, and that's where it gets interesting. And I think the best streams are when we have a real topic, like a cultural movement or whatnot. Yeah,
and that's what's different about these streams. Like yesterday when I had Tim and Mark on, which let me plug their book real quick since I have it here. So if you guys want to buy from some more Christian conservatives, then here's the link here for Black Ops 3. And there we go, and it's also in the description if you guys want to support Tim and Mark. But that's what was different about yesterday's stream when I had them on, was when I wanted to look at their book, we look at the page for 10 seconds and go back to our conversation, and we only looked at the page once. Like we plugged it, put the link in the chat several times, but that's the difference. Is like back then it used to only be about, or like 90% of the stream, you have like the Indiegogo page open, and it's like, now come on, back like every 2 seconds. And that's the difference, is that we have had a lot of good conversations with hardly even looking at the book, and more people are prone to buy it if we have those good conversations.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, we had a good Mark and I just geeked out about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for an hour and a half.
Like couple minutes of that. I caught the last couple minutes. I was late.
It was awesome. Not everything has to be political, and I think we do run the risk of getting political all the time, and that does just cause a negative emotion in the air, because it's like you turn on a baseball game and you're like, I want to watch a baseball game right now, and you see them doing their Black Lives Matter crap. It's like, come on,
like the NFL. Like we don't watch the NFL in my house.
We don't want to
be
guilty of that. We don't want to be guilty of that either. And now I don't say that like never have politics, but I think it's good to make the politics clear when it's a political space, and I think it's good to make the fun time clear when it's a fun time space.
Yeah, that's what I try to do around here. Is I just try to make it fun time, and I never usually bring up any politics, unless one of my guests might mention something small here or there. Maybe we'll talk about something for a second, like me and you have done, or like earlier when you said Kanye 2020 and I said Trump 2020, and we just mentioned it for 20 seconds, and then we just go on to something else. So yeah, I try not to even talk about politics. Most politics bore me, but or most of the discussions, because I feel like
Kanye is never boring, Nasser.
I know nothing about him. No, I just feel most like political discussions just go nowhere really. Just
yeah, you either agree or you don't agree, pretty much. And
nobody's mind will get changed. Like you can never say like, but what about this or
unless it's a minor point, like So Mike and I are talking about what was it, cancel culture, right? And it's like he's like, you should promote John Malin and Cecil, and I'm like, I don't really promote Democrats on my stream. I don't. It just is what it is. And Mike says, well, nobody should ever have to, lose their job or whatnot because of their politics. And Mike's right about that. And that is something that, I may have not considered that angle or whatever, but I was open to it because I'm mostly on the same side there, right? If I'm if I'm pro cancel culture or whatever, it would have just been a headbutt thing that would have gone nowhere. Right. And I guess that's the difference, but yeah, it's weird. Humans are weird, man.
Yeah. Oh, I think I've seen something about this on Twitter, I think, but Nick Sandman, they said Nick Sandman got paid big.
Who's Nick Sandman?
I don't know. I saw something about this on Twitter, but I don't know. Like, see here, like the Sandman got paid, and then there's the emojis there, the eyes emojis that have the dollar signs. I saw something about this. It must be something important, but I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
I don't know. I saw like a tweet like this about.
It sounds like a professional wrestler.
Right.
Like, is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. Let me. I almost want to Google it, but I want to wait
Google
for someone.
It. I'll filibuster while you're Googling, and then you can tell us what's actually going on.
But somebody just said it. Awful Redneck Gaming says the Native American on meth who is beating a drum in Nick Sandman's face.
Oh, that. Yeah,
the Covington kid. Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, that's amazing. Oh, good for those kids. That's so exciting.
Yes. Okay, that is good. That
awesome.
Is good.
That's here's the other problem. You see, what's the situation? That's good. That's good is easy to distill, and you just say 2 words about it, and then you move on.
Right.
That's bad. Yeah. Here's why is always what happens, and I don't know how to change our mindsets in general, like as humans, like to be like to talk more about that's good, you know?
Yeah, like dude, that's something I've tried. Like I've tried so many times to do like a comic review, a book review, or just do a positive video about anything, and it gets 40 views, and then you do the like I have it open here, like my uploads. Let me see. Let me go to that tab. It's loading because here, I have like a video called like how Comicsgate scammed me out of thousands of dollars, 569 views. It's like that'll get a bunch, or like exposing Liam Gray as a fraud liar, 583. Although like 60 of those were Liam Gray on alt accounts mass thumbing it down.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
but like you get like 500, almost 600 views, and then it's like like I'm doing like unboxings of books or like reviews or like writing advice videos, like this video called like do characters or story or themes come first, and it got 47 views, and or another one like is it tough to decide how a story will end, 36 views. But like you call somebody out and you get like almost 600.
I know how it is. Yeah, I did Gail Simone canceled for association with Comicsgate. It got nearly 1,000 views this week, and it's huh. And then I do my writing videos or whatever, and they get like 50. Now the one exception to that rule is I made a how to make a Kindle comic, and that got 500 views because I don't think anybody made one of those. And I think there's a lot of people searching that, right? So sometimes you can luck out on the algorithm if there's like a how to, and there's nobody else talking on that topic, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a couple that I have a video of me opening some Blu-ray that got like 1,000 views, but oh man, I have no clue how to like duplicate that or get those people to come back, because then I have I'll have like an unboxing video, gets like 1,000 views, but then when I have like a haul video, like at the on the first of every month, I do a little haul video of the books and movies me and my brother bought that month, and so it's like those will get like 60 views, but then the unboxing of just one specific movie gets 1,000. But then
just because it was like the certain movie people were searching at the time, right?
It's actually my Puppet Master unboxing. And so I got this box set of the Puppet Master series that got 1,000 views. All right, cool. But then when I do like the haul video that includes that and like all the other things I picked up, it's like that gets like 50.
We totally lost the chat. They were all chatting, and then as soon as everything became positive, they just went away.
Oh, for real? We dipped down to like 16 people. I think we're back up to 20 now.
Yeah.
We had like 28, I think, when
I know
you guys were fighting, so we lost like 8 or 10 people. As soon as it's
positive, I really love to highlight this too, because I think it's so important that people actually pay attention to it and see it. It's really a bummer about psychology.
And it's not good for anyone's mental health though when it's all Like I mean, you know, like you saw my channel like 2 years ago when it was all like, you know, how dare this guy do that? Like all those videos are privated or deleted now. But you know, when it's all outrage, like it is not good for you. It is not good for your mental health or for your audience. It's not good for anyone that's just 24/7. Just everything's just a downer.
Yeah, I know, and that especially in COVID now. Like, I mean, we're all at home watching this 24/7.
We all need something positive
instead of anything else. It's like that's all we get. It's pretty ugly. I have to find my laptop charger, so I have to roll downstairs real quick. I'm going to turn my camera off, and I think my kids are screaming at each other, so I'm going to turn my mic off for a sec too.
All right. Well, all right.
Sorry, I try not to put my kids on screen. I know one popped in, but this is a thing.
Yeah. Well, I know you just muted, but FlyFox Pro says, John, what is your favorite novel? You could stay muted if you want, and I could talk about mine until you're good to go. But at least for me, and we'll get to John in a second, I have a... Man, okay, it's tough because I really love Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. Rosemary's Baby might be my favorite novel, but I really love The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. That's those two are probably my favorite two, followed by The Haunting of Hill House. So those make up my top three. But John, whenever you're good to go, just unmute, I guess, and you could talk about what your favorite novel is. But that makes up my top three. Never really thought of a top five. I've only ever thought of top three, but I don't know. I really like the novel 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I thought that was a really great book. I know a lot of people don't like his books ever since his car accidents back in, I think that was in like 1999 or so. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he got so awful after the accident, but that book is actually really fun.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, I've heard that Stephen King's actually gotten slightly better again. Like he's kind of recovered lately.
Yeah, like I read his book, The Outsider, in 2018, and yeah, it was really good. Except like you could like, it's good. Like the story's good, but there were just like 2 or 3 moments where you could see the Trump derangement syndrome. Like he. Like, you know, they walked into a bar and then it's like, and then by the dartboard, there was a picture of Trump with like devil horns on it. or like somebody standing there and then they're like, and a blue car went by and the bumper sticker said, I'm with her. And I was like, why was that necessary? Like, oh, well, but I mean, you know, he still has a little of that Trump derangement syndrome in there, but I mean, it was a really
that's why I
good
can't
book,
do it. I can't support that, kids.
Dude, I'm so tired of seeing him on Twitter because like I like his older books, you know,
right?
Because they don't have that stuff in there. So if you read his older books, they're good and they don't have the Trump derangement syndrome. And so I like following him on Twitter when he talks about books, but it's like every other day is like, I can't believe Trump. I'm like, do you talk about anything else? I actually saw him I went in 2017. Him and his son had some speaking event like an hour from me, so I went, and like I forgot what the question was, and he was like, "Raise your hand if this," and then you know people raised their hand. Then he's like, "Good, so we don't have any conservatives in the room then," and I was like, I was like, if I didn't drive an hour, and I was like, if I didn't drive an hour and then pay $40 and I don't get my free book until the end, like if it weren't for those factors, I just would have walked out.
I would have 100% walked out and made a scene.
I would have, but like I paid $40 and a book came with the ticket, but you don't get the book till the end, and so I was like, and I had to drive an hour, so I was like, I did not come all this way and just to not get the book. So there was a little like Trump derangement syndrome at his and his son's thing they had here like 3 years ago. But yeah, I don't know. I did buy his latest book called If It Bleeds, but I haven't read it yet. So I don't know. But but the whole question though was from FlyFox Pro. He wanted to know your favorite novel though.
Oh, awesome! My favorite novel is The Crystal Singer by Anne McCaffrey, and everybody's probably like, "What is that?"
Right.
So Anne McCaffrey wrote this science fiction trilogy, which the trilogy is actually not good. It's just the first book's good. And it's a woman, like it has to do with like the character's a musician and she's an opera singer, but she like has a problem with her voice. She's got like this burr in her voice that like she can't go pro all the way because she's just not good enough and she'll never be good enough. And it turns out that like the skill of perfect pitch and being able to use that is important for farming these strange crystals on this weird alien planet which these crystals power interstellar communications. Basically, you have to have a matching set in order to have interstellar communications in this universe. And so she goes out to these ranges, and it turns out this whole planet's got this like weird spore and this life on this planet that like makes it so that once you're there, you're trapped forever. And it screws with your mind and like erases your memories over time. And so you get rich, but you like really give up everything for it. And it's really tragic. And at the same time, it's really a cool science fiction universe. And it's got a beautiful romance subplot to it also, which if you guys know, I love romance subplots. So,
oh man, and you said only the first book is good?
Only the first book's good. Yeah, the other two are not.
Why?
So I don't know. It just didn't work. You know, it's like you had the whole like life thing, and then her losing her memories, and then causing problems, and kind of like, and then it's like the second one. It's like, well, she already did that. So now what? You know.
I just opened that on my Amazon and I put it in my save for later. I don't know when I'll buy it, but it's there.
I wouldn't bother with the next two books. Right. But I've read that book.
The first one.
I don't reread books, so my opinion is there's so many different stories out there. I want to consume all of them and just plow through them. So I don't reread books very often. And I've reread this book 6 times. I only
reread short stories.
That makes sense.
Because I mean, there's so many books I love, and there's a couple that I will reread one day. But I mean, I buy just tons and tons of books, so there's just too many. I just can't keep rereading. Even my favorites, I just can't keep rereading them. But there's like, you know, there's a lot of like good Lovecraft stories and all the old pulp stories that are, you know, like 8 or 10 pages. That I could get through that, and it's not going to cost me reading another book.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Have you ever read The House of Dies Dreer? No, I have not, but that is another one I will look up. I got a lot of book recommends actually on this stream, so I'm gonna have to go back to the start later for some of the other ones. Actually, I think they might have all come from FlyFox Pro, so he could just DM me them, and so I could look them up later. Cabbage Head says, "Okay, I had to dip out while I went home from work, but I'm back." All right, cool, Cabbage Head. I don't know if we'll go too much longer, but alrighty, man, nice to have you back. FlyFox Pro says, "I know it's a children's book, but it has a really creepy tone." All right, cool. I will check it out. Maybe I'll get it for my nieces or my nephew. Full Custom Hot Dog says, "I heard someone say that, after the car accident, his work dipped." Yeah, that's what I hear too, and
that's like the general consensus. Yeah,
I hear that it just has a lot of like, you know, like blaming God elements, which I mean, I guess that's fine for a character to have. You know, don't get me wrong, but I heard that it's like every book, every character is just like, why God? And so I guess that's how his books sort of like they have like that whole bitter feel to them. I guess is how people explain it to me. I've only read 2 of his books after the accident. They've both been more recent ones, one from 2011 and one from like 2018, and they were both fine. But I heard that like, you know, like the early 2000s ones are kind of awful. And let me see, do I still have the link to your books open? Because I wanted to plug our stuff one more time. Well, I'm going to put the link there for Black Hop since I have that one up. But I think I might have closed, I closed your tab, I think, when I was looking for that book you just recommended us. Let me open up your books again.
I'd grab, for a comic reading audience, I'd grab The Cosmic Warrior, which is kind of my most recent series.
Yeah, let me open that one up specifically.
It's on Amazon, and what I do with my crowdfunds, guys, is I use my crowdfunds not only for the book, but I then take the profits and I put it back into other comics that I release directly to Amazon. And what I do with those is I try to put them at a reasonable, you know, price that like Marvel and DC would release an issue at $3.99. So my issue digitally is $3.99, and that way my fans can get a little extra and go a little further, get a lot extra story. In exchange for like really actually supporting the cause, which is why that's what I try to tell people with the crowdfunds and why they're so important. So The Cosmic Warrior is my new series. It's like a John Carter meets Green Lantern sort of setup, and I put in a 100% strong male lead. I know those don't exist anymore, and right. he is a overtly Christian character. Yeah, pro America, pro military, and it opens with the Blue Angels. I love the Blue Angels.
Yeah, I'm taking a look here. I shared my screen, so everyone, if you're only listening, then just take a moment to look here. And this is great art, and I think this might be. I don't want to, diss any artists he's worked with before.
I love the aliens that he developed out of this. He
this
just has a
might
cool
be
looking
my
alien.
favorite artist you worked with so
Cool.
far.
Well, that's good.
And that's the end of the sample.
This is the series I'm really
great.
hoping takes off and hoping gets somewhere, because this is one of those books that I think embodies what our movement's supposed to embody. This is a return to the classics. This has that like golden age feel, but I wrote it with like the modern pacing, so it's fast paced with that feel that you got, and a complete story in an issue. That's very important to me too.
Yeah, it definitely has that feel to it. I still have to buy my own copy, honestly, and I will soon.
No worries.
But this does remind me of older comics and the pulp stories that I know me and you both like, and like the stuff we try to embody, like the pulp rev and all that.
Yeah, and I just wrote issue 3 of that. I want this, and I'm intending on this to be an ongoing series that I've got plans for at least 9 issues right now. And so, but it's up to you guys. So if you guys come in for this and you enjoy it, let me know. I always appreciate the feedback. So
awesome. And of course, we went down another couple viewers when we talked about books.
But, oh no!
Right, but
let's talk about cancel culture again.
right. But 19 people in here, guys. Please hit the thumbs up and share out the link. And we're not going to go too much longer, I don't think. But we'll go for a little bit longer and talk about books a little bit more. But for those of
you, do we want to talk about lawsuits? Because people love the lawsuit drama.
All right. Maybe in
I
just
guess
a second.
I can get people out.
Maybe in just a second, but also like you said, most of my audience is the comic audience. So if you guys want a comic to read, then go ahead and get Cosmic Warrior. And there's 2 issues out right now, and John's working on a 3rd, and hopefully this will become an ongoing series. I would like to see that, and I'll definitely be checking this out for myself.
Awesome.
I'm gonna add it to my cart right now, but I will buy this later. There we go. I'm going to add it to my cart because I have some other things I got to take out of there first. So I will just do that off screen.
Too many carts. I know my carts are huge and my wish lists are ridiculous too.
Yeah, same here. Like I'll go, like through the whole week, and I'll hear about like books or movies I want to get, and I'll put them there. And then when it comes time to buy the one thing out of the 30 I picked out, I'll just save for later, and then I'll get that one thing. So I'm going to clear my cart later, but yeah, so that's the link for that. And of course, if you guys want to buy some books, and me and John both have a ton of books. I have 4 up, and John has how many novels are you at right now? Like 15?
I have out right now. I've got 2 that are out of print, actually, believe it or not. Just for I have to. That's another story.
Were those your Trad Pub deals?
One was Trad Pub and one was my short fiction collection, and I just it was with a publisher, and I never bothered re-putting it out. I got to do that at some point, which is called Make Science Fiction Fun Again. It's got a bright red cover, so if you stick it on your coffee table, you can trigger everybody. Except for not right now because you can't buy it. But so those 2 are out of print, and then I've got 5 in my steampunk, 2 out for my sci-fi universe I'm developing, 3 in my Deus Vult sci-fi. So I've got 10 out right now. Is that right? And then I've got a sequel to my other one, my Stars Asunder, which would make 11, and that's coming out next month. And then I've got a Christian sword and sorcery fantasy, which I've got an accompaniment album by Moira Grayland. If you guys know who she is, you should look her up. She's an amazing woman, and she's doing harp opera music to go along with the book. It's a beautiful artistic thing that we have been working on for a year plus. So that'll make 12. I've got Alt Hero, the novel, which has been sitting for a year and a half. Don't know where that's at. So I've written 13. And then I've got the 2 there. So I've written 15, I guess, but I've got 10 out. If that makes sense.
Cool. And that's the link right there for anyone who just wants to go and take a look through all of John's books.
Are you at 20 yet? Are you at 20 yet, Nasser?
I mean, I've probably written close to 20, but I only have 4 out. Yeah, so it's just a matter of having money to put them out. I do have a job interview coming up, actually. In 5 days, so hopefully that goes well. And then I'll be able to afford to put out some more. But if you guys want to go look through John's, he's got a bunch of books and comics on there. That link will take you right there. And of course, I have 4 books on Amazon, and this link right here will take you to my books. and you guys could buy all 4 of them. The ebooks are only $2.99, so that's over 800 pages that you could read instantly on any device. So if you guys need something to read right now during the shutdowns and quarantines and all that stuff, it'll keep you busy for a while or for a day, depending how quickly you read.
There's these super readers out there, and they read like a book a day or two. And
somebody did that.
They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy.
Somebody did that with a couple of mine the other day, and I was sad when they stopped. But I think they went through I don't know if they went through all 4. Maybe they only went through. No, I think it looks like they might have gone through 3 of them. It looks like. I'm looking back at my dashboard, and like here's how it goes. Like someone read 36 pages one night, and I was like, oh cool, someone tried it. The next day they read 217, and then they went up to 314 the very next day, and then they missed a day. Then the day after that, 214. So in 3 days they read 217, 314, and then 214. So they read like hundreds of pages, and I'm sure it's just one person, because what are the odds that like the only times I got page reads were just like from 2 or 3 people in that section in that span of like 4 days. So
yeah, it probably is. That's
so
cool.
it was probably one person, I think. So they went through and just read like probably 3 of my books. So that was pretty cool. And I'm like,
my only complaint about Amazon, which is also a great part of Amazon, is that everybody's completely anonymous on there. So it's like, I don't know who's reading my book. They never contact me. I don't know what's going on, and don't know if they like it half the time, because like maybe
nobody leaves reviews.
1 in 50 leaves a review.
Man, I remember I was listening to one of the 20 books. Craig and Michael, they have that stream they do weekly. Although I don't think they've done it in like a month, but they do like a weekly stream on the Facebook group, and then they upload it to YouTube. And I was watching one, and Craig's like, yeah, when you have, when you're approaching like a milestone of reviews, like you have like 98, and then you just ask if 2 people could leave reviews, and then like 10 more leave reviews, and then you got like way past 100. I was like, oh, is that going to work? And then I tweeted the other day and then posted on Facebook. I was like, hey, leave a review if you haven't yet. My one book has 7 reviews. I really want to get to 10, and nobody still has left a review since I posted that.
Terrible. And I do it all the time. I try to post like once a week, like, hey, leave reviews, and I never get any. It's like, gee, what are you people doing?
And that's my book that sold the most. That one has probably sold like 60 copies maybe, which I know is not a lot, but out of all my books, that one sold the most. The Eclipse Theater, my short story collection. And that one has 7 reviews. I'm like, please, can 3 of you just leave a review? I want to get to 10.
So it looks like double digits. Yeah, I know.
Right. and nope. So we have 17 people in here. If any of you have read my books, even if you hated them, please leave a review.
What's up? We were just talking before this about how nobody ever talks when there's something positive going on. You only talk when there's something negative going on. That goes for us too. And so we want to hear from you right now. Just type in the chat. Let us know you're here. Let us know, positive things, and let's change the culture for real. This starts with us.
Right. Yeah. I want to hear some positive things. So guys, please, there's 17 of you watching. Tell us just anything, something, please, positive in the chat. Like the chat died. The chat has become the last 4 chats we have are Black Ops, which you should all get, and then Cosmic
There's
Warrior.
Fly Fox Pro. Fly Fox Pro gets
sweet.
it.
He says, I bought the Eclipse Theater the other day. I'll leave a review of it when I finish. Well, thank you so much, man. Let's see. He says, I'm also finishing a short story I started last year. Well, that's good to hear, man. Good to hear that you're getting it done. That's what I like to hear. I really like hearing when people are getting stories done, getting art done.
We lost Furious TV trolling us.
I timed him out for 5 minutes, and that was probably like 30 minutes ago. So maybe he doesn't realize he's back. But I timed him out because he was just derailing it and spamming the chat. So. What have you been working on lately? You might have said it, but what book are you working on at the current moment?
Right now, I am actually co-writing a trilogy with this gal, Morgan Newquist, and we're doing a more traditional fantasy series with like elves and dwarves and orcs and things like that. So, we
despise.
Yeah, so me too, and I feel like that's so played out. I really wanted to put a different twist on it. And that's what I was sitting there. I'm like, how do I do this and have it not be played out? And so I think we came up with a great idea, and we've got that going. I'm not we're not that far into it that I want to talk too much about it yet.
Gotcha.
I guess we're 40,000 words into it, but I'm going to write the entire trilogy before we put it out, because that's how we do things. And then I'm working on a comic. I'm working on a Deus Vult comic, which is another like fantasy deal. I just got a page from it. I'll put this up. I don't know if I'm supposed to put these up yet from the artist who's collabing with me. But it's got it's a fantasy world where like it's got a crusader, and it's got like cat girls too. So because everybody wants cat girls. So let me pull this up. This guy's my favorite artist I've worked with, I think, and I'm sorry to all the other artists, but his art looks like a dead ringer to John Buscema to me from the 70s, and John Buscema was one of the early Marvel guys, and he just dialed that in with this deal. And he draws pretty cat girls, and he draws awesome crusaders, and that's all I want out of things. There's evil sorcery going on in this page right here, as you can see from the evil demon creatures up top. And of course, I want to present witchcraft and sorcery as a bad thing, because I think our culture has been very permissive in the last 20 years, showing witchcraft and sorcery as a good thing because of that crappy series by that English lady. And I want to push back against that. So that's a large part of that. And cat girls, because everybody wants a cat girl.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned like magic and stuff, because that's actually in my current book I'm writing. Not to that degree though. It's called The Doll Maker, and basically this boy gets a magic kit on his birthday, and with the wand he accidentally brings his neighbor's doll to life.
Nice.
So I mean, I guess it kind of goes with what you're saying, how they always glorify beauty or beauty. I wish they did. They glorify.
I wish they
magic.
Glorified beauty.
I meant they glorify magic. They try to make it, something real. Witchcraft has to be beautiful and everything these days, which, and the boy's intent wasn't to actually do witchcraft. He just, like, he has like a ball and vase trick too, and like a deck of cards come in the box and stuff, but he takes the wand and he accidentally, like, I don't want to give it away too much, but he accidentally with the wand waves it at the doll and brings it to life. So there is
magic's destructive and witchcraft's destructive.
Yes, that's basically that might actually be the message of the book, is is that it brings nothing but destruction. Although I don't think there's anything wrong with a magic kit if you want to learn a card trick or something, but actual witchcraft is wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do dig this page that you're showing us, man.
Yeah, this is cool. So we're about I'd say a little over a third done with this one. So my plan is this is going to be a crowdfund book because it's too beautiful not to be, I think. And so my plan for crowdfunds is I'm going to do Flying Sparks Volume 4 next month, because I got too many people emailing me constantly asking me where that is, and we're late because of my colorist on that. Sorry about that. But I don't launch the campaign and then be late. I wait until we're buttoned up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Like with and not to cut you off there, but like with with the sequel to Blood Reaper, we've only got 3 pages in the cover done, and like I've had people tell me they're like, hey man, there's been a lot of like drama going around with you and Donald and some others, so I think you should launch your next book. And I'm like, nope, because if I launch it, I'm gonna have all that money sitting around for who knows how long, like until the art gets done. And I don't want to have it sitting around. I want the art to be done, and then we'll go right to print, and then we'll fulfill pretty quickly, because I know for me at least, like I don't want to call anybody out here, but I even have friends that like I backed them 2 years ago, and I'm like, where's my book, please? So I mean, we wouldn't, just with me being in charge, we just wouldn't be that late. There's just no way, because I know how to manage a team. And me and Sean have put out our first book. We put out Stardust, came out on time. Trixie was 4 months late because Sean was an idiot. But I shouldn't say that, but no, he took on some other work, and which, we ended up being 4 months late. So I mean, he had to pay the bills. He needed some more money, so that's what happens. But so we're just gonna try to get back to where we were with the first book, and we had a lot more done and got it done quicker with Stardust, because we were right on time. We said September of that year, and we came out in September. So I want to do a quick turnaround. That's always the best way to do it. So that's what we're hoping for.
Me too. I want to put it out, get the book out within the next month, move on to the next one. And that's how real comics work. So it's,
right. And
if we really want to compete with them, we have to do that kind of content for sure.
And everyone in the chat and everyone that comes across this stream and buys these sort of, and they like to back these crowd funds, they'll see who actually cares about books when they get their books on time and when they get a quality product.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Flyfox Pro asks me who's drawing this comic. And here's where it goes. And this is what I did with Robotoad too. My artist went by an alias on Robotoad because the unfortunate reality is that if somebody works with me, they are risking their career, they're risking getting harassed, they're risking people really being nasty to them. And so that artist for Robotoad obviously is a name you might recognize from 80s comics, and I had to hide that person is what it came down to. And this is gonna, right now, the artist who did this is not sure what they want to do. It's somebody I think you would like if you knew who it was, Flyfox Pro. And the colorist is also somebody who I'm pretty sure you're familiar with, who you don't see the colors here, but I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the colorist, and that person is going to be quietly and anonymously working with me too. It's so sad, but this is what cancel culture is, and this is, I have to do this because I got to protect my people. So, yeah,
that's unfortunate. You gotta hide their identities. And I actually do got to end this stream in a second here, so we're just going to read the last few chats because my mom just texted me and she needs help with some bags in her car in a few minutes.
Hi, Mom.
Right. She's probably not listening, but I'll let her know you said hi. But let's see. But I'll read the last few. Full Custom Hot Dog says, I'm still here, Nasser. I'm still here, Nasser. You're one of the people that keep pushing me to write. Well, that's awesome to hear, man. I'm glad. And let's see. Just saying says, okay, man, I sent payment to your PayPal. Yeah, I just got that. I just got the notification. So yeah, I'll be sending your books out in the next couple days, man. And let's see. Flyfox Pro says, oh wait, yeah, we already read that one. And then Awful Redneck Gaming says, yeah, and Flyfox Pro says, that's unfortunate that people can't work under their own names. And adios, stay friendly, everyone. Alrighty, so yeah, so we have 17 people in here as we end. So guys, please share out the link anyways to the stream, just because you never know who might want to catch it on replay. And I'm gonna put the link here for John's books one last time. So let's see, John's books. There we go. And then I will get the link for Black Ops 3 here. And let's see, Black Ops 3. There we go. And then I will get the link here for my books. There we go. Cool. So that's everybody's books there. So if you guys want to support us, here's the link for John's books, and then for Mark and Tim for Black Ops 3, and then me here for my books on Amazon. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.